Maybe. Hey, folks. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be on this little blueberry of a globe. How to do? How to do? So, how are you folks going on? Going, Lisa, Ray, good to see you. Bonita, Gregory, Sugar, Britches, and let's see, Sue. I saw earlier. How to do? How to do? Tonight, got about an hour's worth of content planned. It may go a little bit over. I don't know yet. We'll see. But let's go ahead and get. How's the audio sounding? Let me make sure everything is going on over here. The audio's all set up. Yep, that's cool. Awesome. Tonight's open lines. Supernatural anything. Dustin Hamilton, how is Alaska, brother? Have you had any more weird sightings other than moose lately? Oh man, I tell you what, I made some. I don't know. I've got on a white chicken chili kick, and I bought 2 pounds of dried Great Northern beans, and I had at it. Oh my Lord, have mercy! I've got a crock pot, probably about 2 gallons worth of chili. Good thing I live alone. That's all I can tell you. So, Gene, hey brother, Joanne, good to see you. Share, like, and subscribe this rascal out if you don't mind. Tell your brother, your sister, your niece and nephew, your next door neighbor, parakeets, dogs, cats, you name it. So, hold on a second. Let's get the prayer raring to go here. We'll get this prayer going. All right, I humbly ask our Lord Jesus Christ that if it be in accordance with your holy will, that all curses, evil, demonic involvement, and or attacks being sent against us be blocked and be sent back from whence it came. Father in heaven, please send your angels of mercy and support and healing to Warren J. and Frank, Shell and Aiden, Amanda and Robert Quigley, Laura, Gracie, Laura's father, Julie and Jeff, Sharon Guy, Patrick, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron and Erica, Lakea, AJK, Claire Ellis, Dahl, Gil, and Jayla and Breland, plus their mama Janice. Stimulate Jack and his children, Juanita Hicks, Lee, and Amy. And anyone else that has unspoken prayers. Please, Father, bless them as you see fit. In Jesus Christ's name. Amen. Wow, another Wednesday has hopped on upon us. Lisa, I hope you're all right down there in Florida. Saw that hurricane's about ready to bear down. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Hopefully. Been praying for y'all. Sheldon, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Let me hit this link here. If you want to hop in, you're more than welcome to pop in. Just gotta have, act like an adult. We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. That's fine. I don't know if you've been paid attention to the Super Tuesday. Well, I guess it get Voting Tuesday. Catalyst, what is going on, Sue? Good to see you. Got a few videos to share with you. And holy cow, got 9 showing here. That's interesting. Only 9? Did I pop this out on every? I don't know if I remember if I popped it on everything. But that's all right. God willing, the creek don't rise, we'll be fine. So has anybody had any interesting supernatural Bigfoot, Dogman, ghost sightings, you name it? I've become fairly boring when it comes to ghost sightings. I ain't had anything going on in this old house in a long time. But got all kinds of ghost stories saved up. But right now, let's see. First off, I have been inundated. Well, I wouldn't say inundated. I have seen a ton of possible UFO videos. So I've got a handful of those. handful of Bigfoot, handful of Dogman, some old stuff mixed in there with it. Sugar Britches said, "We ain't heard nothing down here." But good Lord have mercy. Let's see. Let me send someone something real quick. Where is my link to this here channel? And we'll get her going. There you are. Send that off. All right. So the first one up is a video that I just recently started seeing floating around on the interlinks. 160 trick-or-treaters, Joanne said. Oh, really? I can quite honestly tell you, the Halloween here in my neighborhood, the house that I live in currently, it's one of the bigger houses on the street. It used to be Trick or Treat Central. Well, my grandmother, God rest her soul, and my grandfather were living here. They would give away hundreds of dollars of candy. And that was no joke. I don't think I even heard them going up and down the street. You know, it's been probably about 6 years since I've seen the last trick-or-treater drop by this freaking house. But wow, trick-or-treaters. I was wondering if they actually celebrated that. I know there's trunk-or-treating kind of stuff. And do you believe in the trick-or-treating stuff with Halloween, celebrating Halloween? If you're Christian or of other religious beliefs, do you believe in that kind of stuff? Sheldon, yes, it is kind of expensive. It gave me. Oh, Sugar Britches had 300. Had to shut off my. Oh my Lord! How much do you spend in candy? 300. Do you give them like a couple pieces at a time, or one piece at a time, or what? Tyrell, snowing here in Montana. I heard you had a big old blizzard up there, like 18 inches worth of snow from some of the storm spotters that I have seen. But down on the east coast southeast coast of Florida is where a hurricane's about ready to hit. So anyone that is of a prayer ilk, please pray for down there in Florida. Oh man, you gave out full-size bars. I would definitely be hitting your house, that's for sure, if I was a kid. Hitting your house for sure. Okay, first up, tease this for just a second. $250 in candy. Holy cow, you really do like Halloween trick-or-treating, that's for sure. Let's see. What do we got here first? Where's this at? Let me find it. I've got so many videos up here. Let me see if I can find the first one. Is this it? And I'm going to save. Here we go. Love the snow. Oh, man. You can keep snow. The only time I like to see snow is right at Christmas. The rest of it, you can pretty much say, nope, I don't like it. I almost moved to Florida one time. And sometimes I kind of wish I did. Sometimes kind of wish I didn't. But I don't know. Hey, Sue, good to see you back. AJK, brother, what is going on? So, first one is a UFO offering. And I'm not going to play the audio because all this stuff has some, copywritten stuff in the background. I'm trying to get this whole thing monetized. And let's see. Overbuilt automotive. Hi, folks. Will not play Halloween after I learned of its origins venerating the dead Nephilim critters and the flood of Noah. That no one. Okay, that's fine. Dandy. Destiny is in the house. Hey, Destiny. Tagged along with my friend's girlfriend. Oh, cool. I grew up trick-or-treating. I think one of my favorite costumes was When Star Wars came out, I dressed up like a stormtrooper. Now I kind of think about it, I should have dressed up like Darth Vader. Uh-oh, her iPad went dead. You know, they make charges for those every day. I hope it's you didn't charge it up. I hope it's not dead on arrival or whatever. But let's see. This first video. Now, if you're not of the UFO kind of ilk, I've got other cryptids here in a little bit. I've got a handful of UFOs that I'd like to share you. And I do like a good UFO video. But let's go ahead and start this out. Where was this? North Carolina. On 10, let's see, 10 Road near Raleigh here recently. Let's see if I can get the audio. The audio here is all right. Yeah, I got the audio here. Cool. What the heck is that? So what are those green orbs around that? That kind of looks like maybe a fallen star, but what the heck is the green orbs around the fallen star bit? Let me turn the audio off. That's kind of loud on my end. I'm sure it's probably too loud for you guys. Let's see. Let me flip this off. I'll do if I don't do that. Turn this block off. Now let's flip that around. No. Shoot. Let's do this. Aha. There we go. Now I got to figure it out. We're cooking with Crisco, folks. Learn something new all the time. Looks like something going to crash and land, according to Catalyst. Let's rewind that and look at that one more time. What's that noise? That noise was the audio in the background. I'm not going to play the audio. Well, let's play the audio one more time. I'm going to turn the audio down a little bit because it was pretty freaking loud on my end. No doubt about it. Turn this over here. And then we'll get this back up. Here we go. That sounds like background noise. North Carolina near Raleigh. Slowed down and increased. I don't know what. 1, 2, 3, 4. So is that a cloaked thing? Let's see. Let's just turn the audio down. Let's hit this and then bring us back to where this is in full screen. So right through here, this could be a cloaked vehicle with whatever caught on fire in the front there. Sheldon says a blown engine, 747. I don't know. You would think that would be on the news. Hey, Bathsheba, good to see you, hon. But what is that? Now, if it was a 747, wouldn't all the lights be blinking instead of the two in the back? But, if it was UFO, here's my theory on UFOs. If they came all the way down here from wherever it should be, sounds like an old bomber with engine fire. Okay, all right. I'm smelling what you're saying. That's a possibility. Let's play this one more time. Let's turn this audio back up. See if that is actually associated with the energy. Gee willikers. The sounds associated with whatever's in the sky. Well, it does sort of sound like an old propeller engine right there. I don't know if you can hear it, but it does sound like an old propeller engine now that Lisa's mentioned it. But let's see. Let's listen to that one more time. Sort of sounds like it might be AJK. Maybe it's an engine fire. Maybe. Could be. But don't FAA lights have red in them instead of green and white? Old engine. They have 4 engines. One can go and still keep a AC up. Cool. Or a helicopter. Don't know. That's why I brought it on here. That's something that I haven't seen other than I've seen a TR3B, but it didn't look like that flying around. But there you go. There's that first one. If you want to be a part of the show, you can call in 931-994-6917 or text 931-994-6917. I was told earlier today I spit out that phone number about as quick as an auctioneer. 931-994-6917. If you want to call in, text that number. Now, if you're going to send me a video or a picture, don't text it to me because that text number doesn't accept that kind of rich media. It's only a alphanumeric text line. So, if you want to email me your media, sound or pictures or video or whatever, email Shawn Graham at iamdarkwaters.com. SHAWN Graham, GRAHAM, all one word, iamdarkwaters.com. So, an aircraft AC can have green lights. I did not know that. Well, looks like we got a plausible theory running around here thanks to Lisa. And let's see, AJK. And let's see, Sugar Britches, War Helicopter. It could be just about anything else. I'm going to play this one more time and then we'll move on. So, one more play and then we'll do my usual ask. What do you think this is? Is this a aircraft that has an engine fire? Or is this a bona fide UFO? Or a hologram or whatever it is? Is it something that's man-made? Put one in the chat for man-made UFO or aircraft. Man-made aircraft. 1 in chat. 2 if it's a UFO. 3 if it is, I don't know. Starboard side is right side and is green. Well, it looks like Lisa is up on her FAA rules for sure. Hello, Andrea. What is going on? Good to see you here. Appreciate you dropping by. Let's go ahead and remove this and stop sharing this, and then let's see what else we got here. Aaron, what's going on, brother? 333. I am Pam. Welcome. With my eyes closed, it sounds like a blimp. Okay, cool. I'm kind of leaning towards man-made for whatever reason it is. To me, it looks at first glimpse when I first came across this a few days ago. I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. It's still kind of cool. But there you go. Next one up is another. Let me play this real quick and turn the audio off real quick so I know it is YouTube safe. because I already got hit with a couple of YouTube whatchamhaters for some of those shorts I've been putting out. So let's see what this is. Well, I can't. Well, it doesn't need audio anyway. So let me share this out. This is of a video of a helicopter. Let me turn this down or turn this back. And you don't really need to hear what we're looking for is there is a orb that's about ready to come into frame right there. Flying past a helicopter. Stacy, hey, good to see you. Gene, hey, brother. And I'll grab it and watch the orb go by the helicopter one more time. And disappear. Yeah. Let's see. Let me grab it and see where this. There we go. Got it. Let me move this down here or move this over a little bit. Get this going on. So, what is this orb on the left-hand side of this helicopter? Let's see. This is in New Jersey on the 8th of this month, actually. New Jersey, 8th of this month. Foo Fighters, Sheldon says. If you want to be a part of the show, call in 931-994-6917. If you're over on YouTube, it's the call or text number is on the bottom of the screen in the red hand band, along with the email. For whatever reason, my brain had a brain freeze on it. I have no clue what that is. Other than it's going a lot faster than you would think. And if it was an aircraft that was way up there, Tic Tac UFO again. What I'm going to do is, hold on just a second. Let me bring this back and let me turn the audio on to the video source. Hopefully this isn't got a, if it does, I'll turn it off real quick. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. You can hear the rotor blades. So the only thing I could think of, could it be like a fast-moving drone that's, kind of shooting across the top of the sky, the ceiling above? Sheldon says authentic. Tic Tac. Yeah, could be a Tic Tac. Hey, it's white and it's roundish. Could be definitely a Tic Tac. You could also use that for a description. Holy cow, isn't that something? Throw this back. It's amazing what you can catch if you just look. How does a helicopter fly? Question. With rotors. Rotors and some fossil fuels fueling it. It's a bird, AJK says. It's a bird. It's a plane. Looks like a chopper. Yeah, but did you, Bansheba, did you see the little orb? The orb is the thing that we're looking at. Let me pull this video back. This orb to the left. Let me grab that. This orb right here, if you can. Why doesn't that? When I shake my mouse on my Mac, my cursor gets really huge, but does it do it on the freaking SteamYard? Whatever. There you go. Beats the air in submission. Oh, you got jokes. You got jokes. Okay. I got you. You got jokes. Beats the air in submission. Lord have mercy. Good Lord. All right. So 1 Tic Tac, 2 UFO, 3 drone, 4 I don't know. And we'll go from there. I have seen a few of these. The good thing about this is during the day. This ain't at early evening, late in the evening, where you get that little. Most of the sky is dark, but right at the horizon, if you're up high enough, you can be above the horizon line, and everything that's flying above that horizon line becomes illuminated. All right, number 4, don't know. All right, I have no clue what that is. Other than it's funky looking, it was worthy of me putting it up here on this year thing. I've seen orbs, and that is a bird. That's a bird above. Well, if it flew over top of the helicopter, then we can orientate that whether that's above or below the helicopter. Let's go back and look at that one more time. Now that you mentioned that. 8675309. Oh my Lord, have mercy. BR549. I don't think could be a bird. Yeah, it could be a bird that is closer to the camera versus the helicopter. Yeah, could be. Absolutely. BR549. 865. I love that. Oh man. All right. So have orbs. I've seen orbs as well. I'm on the fence about that. I'm kind of leaning toward it may be a bird, just depending on where the hell that thing is. If it's closer to the person's taking the video, could it be a star or a planet, depending on the time and season? Perhaps it's stationary. Well, it's moving awful quick. But I like your thinking. I like your think. I like the folks that think out loud for sure. I'm going to put that as a number 4 personally. Let's see. Next one up is oldie from out in the outskirts of Area 51. Let's see. Does this have audio? Come on now. I hit play and you're not playing. Well, ain't fun. Well, let's see if this plays. Oh, can't hit that. Yeah. Why is that not playing? Son of a gun. Let's see. Let me find where I actually stored all that stuff and find that video real quick. Maybe it's just stuck somewhere. I love to show this one off. This is actually out of the 2 before, this will blow that particular other 2 videos out of the water for sure. All right, where is it? I know all I have to do is look for green. There we go. Got green. Now let's go down here and then we'll pull this up here. Aha, here we go. Now this doesn't have audio with it, but I will play it. This is outskirts of Area 51. Well, some again. Nope. Share screen. That's the one I'm looking for. Share screen. There we are. Doesn't have any audio to it, but here we go. I think this is from probably early 2000s. Obviously, this is has night vision or the starlight things. Hey, Bigfoot Anon's in the house. Good to see you, brother. I pinched a couple of your videos for tonight, by the way. Bigfoot Anon. And I'll definitely be tagging you in it. But this isn't one of yours. But what the heck is that? course, this is from the, I think, late 90s, early 2000s, outside of Area 51. And there you go. And Callis says, "Hey, that looks familiar. Thaddeus Cray is in the house. Buddy, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a hot minute, Wes. Let's bring this back up and we'll restart this whole thing over. Now, the first thing that'll come to anybody's mind will probably is these flares being dropped by parachute. Mike, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. And these flashing lights, are they fast forward to get the orbs and stuff in the surrounding? I think this is a starlight camera option. Laser pointers, cloud ceiling. Let's see. What the heck is that? Well, that's interesting. I just gotta maybe move that to save the downloads. Where the heck did that come from, Shell? Huh. Well, I'll show that a little bit later. But what do you think this is? Is this flares, this UFOs? This is outside of Area 51, late 90s, early 2000s. When it gets that stuff, gets that old, you never know. Oh, hell, you don't know where this stuff comes from anyway when it's on the net. I wonder if it's visible with IR. I don't know. And I don't proclaim that I do know what these things are, if it's real, fake, or whatever. UFO. I'll hit you twice. Lookum Spookum. Hey, what's going on? So one more time with this. The cool thing about the, not the cool thing, the interesting thing outside of the 4 glowing lights that obviously are the centerpiece, center point of the video, is all of those fast moving. Now, wait a minute. I just saw something I did not see before. To the right, let me move this back and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Wrong one. Let's do this. No, I don't want to save that. Just knock that out of the way. Let's see. What am I looking at? To the right of the video, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. If you look over here on the right-hand side of the video, there'll be 3 lights pop up, and they all move in unison, and then all of a sudden they kind of split off, and then circle back or do whatever. Now, is this an Air Force, Air whatever command, something or another? I can't see any night sky tonight. We've got a big storm moving into our state. Yeah, I saw that. What is that? I forgot the name of that storm. Been praying for you guys down in Florida for sure. Hopefully it will just be a big wind and some rain. Nothing major like Ian was. But there you go. What do you think this is? Is this something that we own that's flying around in the skies? Or are those flares being dropped down? Nicole, yeah, there you go. Thank you, Shell. It's a lot of things moving around. Absolutely, there's a lot of things moving around in that sky, and that was one of the interesting things. I can't remember. Did I post this on YouTube? Don't know if I post this one on my YouTube channel, but I'll play this one more time, and then we'll move on to a couple other things. Well, crap. Come on, son. I have no clue. I think you could probably argue that the four lights in the center of the video might be flares being dropped by parachute. Maybe. But what are those other flying things? Those orbs that are moving right now. What are those? Fast movers or what are they? Come on, son. Yep. Gee whiz. Yeah, actually I got an alert today, or no, yesterday, not today. Fire hazard alert. Conditions are pretty substantial. Son of a gun! What is up with my camera? Well, my camera just went offline for whatever reason. So that being said, we're going cameraless for the rest of the show, I think. Unless I reach over here and grab it. I'm going to play this video real quick. Again, see if I can reestablish the camera. I don't know why in the heck that camera wants to do that. And hopefully, maybe, let's see. Settings. And the son of a gun is not going to get my camera back online. I don't know why the camera decided to do that. Where to go? I don't know. My camera decided it wanted to say, I don't want to play no more. Now, fun fact, FYI, Aldi's has Butterball turkeys for $1.09 a pound. That's a nice commercial, but holy cow. Fun fact, last Wednesday, while Mike, aka Old Religion Dystopia, that's in the chat there, had him on the show last week, right before is my audio still working? That'd be the next thing. What is going on here? Let me see if my audio's still working. Yeah, my audio's still working, so that's good. Right before my camera and my audio went out at the same time. I don't know why in the heck it wants to do this. But anyway, I heard a loud pitch squeal in my ear. Not from my earphones or anything like that. I have daily some not tympanic. Squealing, whistling that sometimes wakes me up. Oh well. That was an awesome show, Shawn. Yeah, it was an awesome show for sure. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and remove this. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to do it without the camera because I just plugged it up and unplugged it and replugged it, and the camera is not wanting to do whatever it is I needed to do. Oh, man, isn't that wrong? That's funky Colmadina stuff. But there you go. It is what it is. I'll reach over here and grab another one here in just a second and give her another yank and put it to another test here in just a second. Let's see, turn this off. Nope, I don't want to do that one. Now, a couple of these videos, I will tell you right off the top of my head, if Bigfoot Anonymous is in here, this one I've showed once before, and I thought it was just such a cool kind of video, but I can't play the audio on it because it's got some music. Let's go ahead and share this out. Oh, let's go ahead and put this in the chat. If you want to be up on YouTube with me in StreamYard, I'm going to give you a StreamYard link. It's easy to get on there, easy to do. You can do it on your computer or your smartphone or your iPad or your whatever. And it's pretty self-explanatory. But let me share the screen out. Apparently, this is a Dogman print on a car window. And I pinched this from Bigfoot Anonymous Connor. Full disclosure, that's where I got it from. I don't know where he got it from, but go look for his stuff if you want to see where the origin of where I got this thing from. So there you go. It is probably about half the size of a, that looks like a female hand. So there you go. Is that a Dogman print? Is that a, I don't know. You could probably argue that could easily be put on there by a sweaty palm guy and then kind of pull, stretch it out kind of deal. I don't know. GNA, what's going on? Appreciate you coming in here. Please share this out to you folks if you don't mind, if you're in the chat or hear my voice. Sheldon says, that's nuts. You're like radar mash, Sheldon. Let's see. Let me pull this thing back out and pull her. Now, I don't know why the heck. Let's see if I can. Nope. Let me back out and back in, and I'll be right. All right, now I think you got it. I don't know why it wanted to do that. I wasn't messing with that thing. But how's it? Is the audio still working? Are we doing all right? My audio just cut out of YouTube. It did? Still? Audio. Well, it should be back now. There you are. Yeah, I'm back. Had to back out for just a second. And for whatever reason, the refresh brought me back. Doesn't look like a overgrown what? Dog or coon. Let's pull this back up. And then, like I said, I pinched this from Bigfoot Anonymous O'Connor. So if he's in the chat, full disclosure, that's where it went. Luckily, whatever went on with an emu. An emu? That's an emu? That's an emu. Okay. Well, I don't know. Could be. Is that where that came from? Oh, she unsent it. Okay. Got a few pictures here. That is pretty scary. And like I said, whoever made this video that Bigfoot Anonymous got this from, let's go ahead. Guess this is the gal. Looks like it's about half of the size of a female's hand. And don't give me any crap about pronouns. I'd rather lose my channel over male and female or it than go over misgendering somebody. So that being said, that's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. Actually, that's scientific fact, but yeah, it is what it is. Those are exact prints I saw going to a cave in West Virginia. Raccoon or Satan? Banshiba says. Oh, Lord. Halloween glove? Possible. Always keeping the brain cells a working there. Wish there was a comparison. The only comparison they have is that female hand. I keep hitting the wrong stinking thing. Right here. So it might be a glove, Lisa. Now to look at how it abruptly ends right there at probably where that lady's hand is, right at the bottom of the joint of the thumb. It's pretty straight and abrupt ending right there. It could be a glove. Somebody put a little baby oil or dirt or whatever and made it look like that. Let's see what it says. I swear to God, I'm not blank with you. I guess that's effing with you. This is what me up right there. Well, I guess you can fill the blank here. It's got nails and whatnot. So the other thing is, could be a glove. If it was actual real claws, why would it be a full imprint? Now that we're looking at, why is it full imprint? If that is real claws, real nails, there have to be some curvature to it. Gene says, not a Dogman footprint, looks like a Halloween glove. I'm kind of leaning toward Halloween glove. Now, I've actually sat there and put two corpuscles in my head together. All right, we're going to call this a Halloween glove. And luckily, I got my video back. Now you can see my pretty little face. I am Pam says claws won't imprint. Absolutely. They won't imprint. What is that? Oh, is that Shell? Is that from a video from Arkansas? Or not the video, the trail camera? Yeah, I believe it is. Trail camera from Arkansas. Good point. Nails don't typically leave prints like that. Not on a flat surface. And Naomi A is here. Okay, cool. We'll if we blow through the rest of these videos, I'll bring up that trail cam picture and we'll go from there. Next up, actually, I think about everybody's seen what I'm about ready to. Well, I know the next few have been. Well, I'm gonna get rid of that one. I don't even want to share that one. That's too stupid to share. I want to share at least two more before I call it quits for tonight. If nobody calls in at 931-994-6917. And let's see. Let's do this. And this one everybody's probably seen. I've seen everybody says this is Dogman to ghost to some weird artifact. And I know I have talked at a fairly great length on another show about it. And I honestly can't play the audio. So forgive me for not playing the audio. There's no audio really to play other than music, and I don't want to get a copy strike for this. Callus, nobody's calling in, hon. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. Some nights it's I can't answer it fast enough. Can't find any headphones. So here, check this out. I know I played this once before, and you've probably seen this on probably dozens. I know Shell and I have talked about this at great length. So is this two people walking? down the road and got the camera, whatever. Four horsemen, bad feeling. Okay. I know we've talked about that quite a bit. But what do you think this is? That is just this. I don't know what the heck that is. Frame by frame. And here it goes again. Whatever it is, it looks spooky. That's all I can tell you. Sheldon says that's creepy as all get out. Just use 3 or 4 fingers. Okay. It does constantly shapeshift. That is no lie whatsoever. Now the other thing is I have worked with IR cameras and IR light sources on several different cameras. Mike, what's going on, brother?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going.
How's everyone doing? Hey, would you like to see some of the images I filmed Saturday?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and get this. Let me remove this. You go ahead and share your screen and I'll pop them up. Mike from Old Religion Dystopia 2 is his YouTube channel. I think it's the same name in TikTok as well.
Yeah, I don't do much on TikTok, but definitely if you guys show me some love over there and give me a sub. It's amazing. I can't even break 250. You know, before last year, they took down my channel on the 6th of January, the 2021, and I had 1,000 subs. Now I can't even get 300. I can't even get 200. It's amazing.
Are you using the same email for your new channel or no?
Same email?
Yeah, same email that they can identify you as the same person that they banned.
Yeah, although this time around I had to change it because after the freak lightning storm that I had that happened on July this year, I had to change that too because I couldn't access it. I use Yahoo. I should use a different one, but even that, it didn't matter because it's just it's been a struggle to get anyone to pay attention to what I'm doing. So that's fine. I knew this was going to happen because I was very vocal and open about what was going on the past couple of years. So
okay.
So, but anyways, so here is Saturday. I had this most amazing experience.
So where is this located?
This is 350 yards from where I'm sitting right now. Directly east.
Hey, let me give a shout out to Beth. Hey, Beth, what's going on? You got any new things going on with you? With you and your husband down in North Carolina? What's going on with you there? But go ahead. Go ahead, Derek.
Okay, so I you guys see that I did a video. It shows that this is a ravine right here. The creek bed is dry, bone dry. On the east side of this, there's a pond with hundreds of ducks and geese and some swans and all this. And on the west side, you can see there's houses, right? See that in the background? Mm-hmm. Well, I decided to take my walker and get to the edge of that ravine and just see what's down there because I haven't looked there. I haven't been doing this since 2018 because I already know that stuff's happening in my town. I already proved that. And so, but I don't know, something motivated me this year to get back to doing it again a little bit. And so Maybe it's because he has a little bit of health. I mean, like I said, this past winter, I thought I was going to die or whatever numerous times because of my MS. But anyways, I look down this ravine and look at this in the middle of my ravine. or my neighbor. That's a big old teepee structure.
Now, how did that get there?
Yeah, that's what I would like to know. And I don't see that kids would be too ambitious to do that. And I don't know I'm not saying other people don't know what's going on in my town, but I'm not running across them. And when I do run across somebody in my town, it's usually something like a Crow Indian medicine man. So anyways, but what's fascinating about this image or these images is I've captured something that's not only the teepee structure.
Now, this was last weekend. You
Saturday.
had this last Saturday here up there in Ohio. Okay.
Yes. So from where I'm at to where that's at, it's 40, 50 yards away in that range down in the ravine. So I can't get down in the ravine because of my MS. So and I don't even know if I want to get in the ravine after finding this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But anyways,
yeah.
Something else is in this image. Somebody decided to share half their head right there.
Where is that?
It's right here, and I'll.
I see something. What is that?
You see that? Showing half
Man,
his head.
every time you put stuff up, I have to do a quick screen grab just to look at that sucker.
You know, it's just I'll let you if you want that there. It's closer. You can see the eyes, the gray face, the nostrils, the mouth, shadowy body. Do you want me to go back and give you a couple other images?
I got it. Pretty cool.
I'm not looking at what the comments said, so I'm sorry, folks. When I do the share, it's kind of. I'm not very good at multitask. I can't even say it. Tasking. So, anyways, man, I could show a short video of this. It's mine. It's all my work, so you don't have to worry about copyright.
All right, cool.
There's no music. And in fact, do you want the? Yeah, let's play the audio. What the heck? Let's see what happens. Tell me if it's echoing or anything. Let's see. I want to get to the video part. I think I do have some video, but it's music, but it's not copyrighted. So anyways. I don't know why anybody would want to do that. Unless you're a Bigfoot. Let's go. Okay. So that's the image. And then we'll get into the video here. So I'm going to give you an idea of the location and that.
Now, this is near your house or on your neighbor's property.
300 to 350 yards away from my house to the east. We have a tree structure in town. I knew one. Sorry about the shakiness. Could it be just some people who do that? Well, I don't know. Maybe somebody could have. Or some forest people did it. We got a tree structure right. Actually, it's a kind of rough one. Look at it there. But you can see tree leaves. There's a couple stills here. We'll get to an idea of the location. Yeah, we have Bigfoot, the Seve, Forest Bear, something that's in our town. And what's interesting about it is to my east, 100 yards away, there is A ton of geese, ducks, swans. So, what are they doing with it? I can't get in there. Somebody might got in there. I don't know why anybody in my town would want to do that. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. Unless you're a Bigfoot. Sadly. So let's get some more images of that tree structure. I know everyone's seen it a million times. It's interesting though. If we fan out and go over this way, we have tons of geese and ducks. So we have tons of geese and ducks. And we have tree structure. Period.
So was there any kids or any bodies running around there?
Oh, you're missing something here. What's that noise? Listen to this. What the hell is that noise? What the hell is that noise?
I heard something.
Yeah, and then the next day, Sunday, and I have it's weird, the analytics. So I got like 100 views to Sunday's video, and this is Saturday's, and I only got like 30 views. I don't know. None of it makes that much sense to me, Shawn, except that it's
I think they always mess up the algorithm. I think I got it pretty well figured out and get 1,000 views within 24 hours, and now I barely hit 400 to 500 views on a video.
Yeah. So the Sunday video, I found a fresh tree break. Fresh one. Let's see if I have an image of it. I also filmed some interesting entities too, if you guys want to look at those as well.
Sure.
And I don't want to hog your show, but seeing that it's kind of gel here. You can see very well with this. This would be the tree break that I found. It's blurry here. The video does a little better job of it, but the picture is a little pixelated and blurry. But if you can see, there's still green leaves on it. Now, we did have a little bit of wind on Saturday, and we are in a drought. But obviously, that tree wasn't weakened by the drought because it still had leaves on it. And the wind wasn't that strong. I mean, you guys heard the wind in the video. So could this have been, because it was weird. Sunday, I drove by myself all the way to Maumee Bay State Park, got right to the edge of the woods. And even before I got into the park itself, something was telling me, just go back home. I got there and it just did, sometimes you got to follow your instincts. And I went back home, and an hour later, I went back out, and this is along Kroger's and all that. And there's a little path there, and it's paved, and well, that's what I found. That's what I found. That's so is it anything? Well, let's see if we can find any of these images. There's some shadows, some things going on. And I don't know, maybe you can help me out. Something is going on right in here. You want to take a capture or not? Hide that.
What is that?
Well, it seems to be an eye right here. It's like it's you see the cone shape and all that. It's like I said, I'm totally convinced that we're dealing with something supernatural, spiritual. Other people say it's that they're cloaking and all that, but whatever. I mean, problem is, we're not going there and shaking their hand and hanging out with them to know for sure one way or the other, right? So, but there's a half an image, always half a head. So that's one, and I'll show you the other one. Did you get that yet? Maybe you can bring it out.
I got that one. I got that one.
And then there.
Let me get the download one.
Oh, do you want me to go back?
No. I've got to save it and
And
whatnot.
then there's something going on right in here too. I don't know if people can see it, but I can see it. Maybe it's because I don't know, maybe because I want to see it or something. But I know that it definitely Saturday definitely caught something with that pyramid. And the question that always, once again, is why always they peeping out of trees, popping out of trees? Why are you always in the shadows? Why is it so hard to get live footage? I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but why is it so hard to get it? And this is a universal thing, right? So,
yeah.
So I'll give you another example of a peeper. And I don't want to hog all your time. I want other people to get in there and to share their experiences. But I guess there's one thing that I want to say. I want to try to demonstrate and share with people is it's really they're everywhere, and I don't think you need to go deep in the woods. So once again, this is obviously I don't need to go deep in the woods at least because they're in my neighborhood. Look like that guy.
Right.
What is it?
Actually, I've got. Let's see. Already got somebody. Shell sent something to me. Let me bring this up. Share this. Took the screen grab of. Well, where the heck did it go? Come on.
Now there's one more thing going on right there. You see that peeping behind that tree? You can see in the video, I give examples of let's see a big old black eye, furry black eye. There he is again. And let's see. Let's see. That's the actual tree. I go over here.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No. Let's have to go back, I think. I can't remember now. I also filmed this strange thing too. Not saying it's Bigfoot. I'm just saying it's there. The next second. Oh, excuse me. Well, let's see. How do I get this organized? It's there.
Oh, wait just a second. Let's see.
And there, this the next second, it's gone. The next it's gone. So,
wait just a second there, Mike. Wayne just says, "Hey, sorry to jump in like this, Shawn, but Chase found out that his ex-wife and son that's 11 is missing." Oh man. Well, let's say a quick prayer if you don't mind, Mike, and
okay.
For Chase and his ex-wife and son. Dear Father in heaven, please, we come before you to ask to send your angels and bless Chase, his ex-wife and his son, help them find his ex-wife and his son. Keep them safe and sound and be able to be found as soon as possible. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Well, praise and glory to you, Abba Father. In Jesus' name. Yeah. So much suffering in this. People talk about reincarnation. If there is any kind of reincarnation, I think it should be labeled reincarceration. I swear the amount of suffering. I went out there and I got a video. I went out in a different part of my town, and the number of tree liens, tree X's, tree structures, dead trees is shocking. I can't get over what's going on. And there's the emerald ash borer beetle. If you could say you can blame that, but it's everything in my town. Now, my town is called Sylvania, and that means tree, and it's called the Tree City.
Mm-hmm.
And it's famous for its beautiful trees, and they're all dying. And I mean, and I'm not just exaggerating, they're dying. everywhere. I mean, I was so shocked when I went out there and like, is that the real reason why I've been driven out here again? Is to like remind people that there's something even deeper maybe going on than Bigfoot. There's some bad news going on. So yeah.
Well, we got one. One of the pictures that you brought up. I'm gonna bring this up real quick. Let me stop the screen. One of the darker imaged ones versus the ones you've got right now, which you shared earlier. Give me just.
Did you find something that you make it bring it out a little bit better? Do you see anything in there?
I don't know. What do you see? I can. To me, might be something, but then again, you kind of wonder if it's just oversaturated with a lot of background stuff. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know which image is that.
That's your image.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out which one that is. Of the two, like I said, when it came to it, those images that I found, I'm not claiming I didn't say that they're Bigfoot. If anything, they're tree spirits, if anything. But is it
got a couple more images here?
This one? Was it this one or was it this one? It's this. Yeah. I think it
might have been that one.
So to bring it back, let's see what we got. I mean, I'm more than happy. Believe me, I'd be more than happy to prove I'm wrong about this stuff. Believe me.
I think it's that one right there. The one. Give me just a second, and I'll pop it up on the screen here. I think it's that particular one that you just had up on the thing.
Well, so it's only part of it. So it's only right here. It's about this section right here. See, I'm looking right here in the middle of the picture, and I'm not seeing that.
Okay.
Right section. Is that the same? It doesn't look like the same section, but that doesn't mean I'm not saying you're wrong. That's for sure. There's to me, I see something here, but I'd be more than happy to be. Yep, I am wrong. But I can pretty confident that one that's close to that teepee structure, there's something going on there.
Okay, I've got that one. Give me just a second. That has been kind of cropped and brought forward. Give me just a second. We'll share that one out. Here we go. And bring this one out. So there you are. I don't know if that over pixelated or what.
Could be. Is that the same? Let's go back. Let me find the
image. That's the one with the TP.
Because I don't see that. I don't see anything like that. But that doesn't mean you're wrong and I'm right. Let's just see what's going on here.
More than a few sets of eyes on it. So
that's the one I'm talking about. Is that what you
make
got?
It a little bit bigger, if you don't mind? Yeah. Capture selection and pull this out.
And so to me, what I see is right here. There's the gray face, the eye, the nose, the mouth, and of course
I can see a brow ridge on that, and definitely sort of looks like a muzzle, perhaps.
Yeah, it's maybe Dogman more or Bigfoot Dogman type thing entity.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't claiming I know exactly what it is because it's hiding. No. And it's kind of transparent as well as usual. And I wasn't going to go down. I couldn't go down there if I wanted to anyway. So I guess I could slide down there on my butt and then crawl there. But,
all right.
And I don't know what are the folks saying? What are they saying? Anything, or is it just my just wishful thinking? Is this just my
So it kind
imagination?
of looks like head and arms. Shell says appears to be stump
Like
or a trunk and branches, in my opinion. Banshiba says.
so, because this is like the half. Well, it's very fair, except we would have to go back to here. We can see there. That's where it is. There's a TP structure.
All right.
So it can't be a stump because then you go further. And right there still is. And then we go further and there it is. So it's definitely not a stump. Because by the time we get over to there, where now there's like the stream and all that. So yeah, there's an entity there in my book. So not the greatest, but not the worst. You know what I mean?
Right. Not exactly. Well, there's something there. I don't know what it is. I'm in there. What do you guys and ladies in the chat think it is?
I don't know. It's just I told you once I started talking to you again that things were going to act up again, or get all active again. This my experience has been. Whatever, if I shut my mind down concerning this and stop and not focus on it,
Yeah.
it seems to maybe dissipate. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it never does at all. I just am not focusing on it. I start focusing on it, start finding stuff. I'm like,
All right. Here's my software for editing photos and stuff. Let's go ahead and bring this out a little bit. See if we can bring it. I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it. You're doing good. It looks good. You see the grayish part of the face and the black is the eye of the nostrils. You can see the eye. That would be the right eye of it. And then the fur is like translucent, gray, brown type of thing. Yeah, I guess that's impressive. And you can see, yeah, just go back to that because that demonstrates there's actually something there that's nuts. Yeah, it's almost like it's spirit, huh? Or energies, like electric, or
It looks like there's something there. You can see in the negative that there's
something there.
what it is. I don't know. I have no clue what that is. Let's go to black and white. See if that brings out anything. Nah, that doesn't bring any detail out. Kind of mutes it. Let's see HDR. Let's do HDR. Let's do the radius, and then we'll do the. Well, anyway, it's kind of fun looking at those pictures.
Something going on there for sure. I mean, that TP structure. I mean, could there be teenagers who wasted all their energy and time and stripped all the branches off those larger branches and made a TP and turned it all? Hey, there's always that possibility, right? But why?
Oh yeah.
And from my experience, and my personal experience, and numerous other people I know that are doing this or some sort of research, they're finding the same types of structures and deep in the woods. And some of these structures are, you go out west and Colorado Bigfoot. And I mean, they're massive. I mean, they're 3 times the size, 4 times the size. I don't see any reason why someone would do that. Even kids, knowing who kids are today. I mean, it took a lot of effort and energy to do that if it was a kid or 2, you know what I mean? Or a couple of kids. That's saying you don't have that energy. And I used to make tree forts and all that kind of stuff too, but
well, a lot of them are sitting in front of their PlayStation 5s or their iPhones or whatever, playing who knows what.
Yeah.
But Lisa Ray wants to know, where's the rest of it?
That's it's always that way, isn't it? It's always, not always that way. And many times you can get a better image, but so many times, this is one of the reasons people call them, tree peepers or peekers or
Mhm.
you know tree boogers, tree apes, is because you never get a full image. If you do, you get heads popping out of the tree, something behind a tree. It's hardly ever did you get a full body image of these things. That's why it's so exciting. When like the Patterson film, which I
Wait a
believe
minute. I actually, I think I see something. I don't know if you can see my right back here in the back behind it. Maybe
okay.
right there. There's like a little head. Let me see. Insert. Let me
Well, I
find
would
that.
not be surprised because they're never alone. That's one of my observations. They're never, never, and never, never. When I'm talking about Bigfoot, Seve, Dogman, whatever. These entities are never alone.
Right there in that circle, if you can see that.
It's kind of like a humanish, more head type thing.
It's round, whatever it is. I don't know. And then you
Okay.
can obviously see this feature right here, up and down. So I don't know.
And it almost looks like, in a way, if you look, because I don't know if there's like some fingers. I can see some fingers too in front that possibly could be fingers. I just
Patterson film was debunked. I disagree with that, Bansheeba. That was not debunked in my book.
No, I mean the people that seriously researched it, that it's like, well, if it was a fake, they put in a heck of a lot of effort to do it. I mean, more than just a couple of cowboys and horses involved. If it was fake, the government in Hollywood had to be involved in it. It had to be a lot of people involved in it, not just a couple dudes to make it to pull that off. And there always is that possibility. But when I talk to my friend and somebody I respect a lot, MK Davis, and when he breaks this stuff down, he points out things that no one else seems to bother. Now, they maybe are doing that as others, I don't know. But as far as someone who's as committed as MK is to it, I mean, it's hard to disprove what he's saying. You know what I mean? There's so many just details that why would you do that? Why would you fake that? Why would you just have a few, seconds of footage just for that? You know what I mean? Especially if you already knew that half the world, 90% of the world wasn't going to believe it anyways. What would be what would be the advantage? Now, I'm not saying that people haven't faked stuff. People are faking stuff all the time. But
All right.
what would be the advantage for them putting that kind of energy in it? I mean, the details, the wound in the leg, the ponytail, the teeth, the eyes, you name it. The back, the details of that. There's
Oh,
for the muscles and where the spinal column runs of it. And I know it doesn't look like it doesn't look normal, and it does look a bit. You would say it's a bit fake
yeah.
because
Hey,
we're not used to it, right?
yeah, Sheldon, you sent me a link back to my YouTube channel in that email. So you didn't send me anything with a Bigfoot running into a portal, but that'd be interesting to see. I'd appreciate looking at that myself.
I would too.
But
I would definitely. So, anyways, hey, Damon, thank you for I didn't want to hog up your whole show, but I figured I'd
oh,
throw that in there because I wanted to share with
that's
you
pretty cool.
last weekend. And something's going on, like I said, in my town, and there's a good chance that something's going on in everybody else's town. It's just you need
So,
to be willing to go out there and look for the signs, and you don't have to go a mile in the woods to find things. I'm proving it. So
the Bigfoot live radio episode 507 and 2016 episode apparently has proof that the Patterson film is whack. So let me grab that thing. I'd like to listen to it. But all I have ever seen that they've tried to recreate this, try to recreate the strides and everything with a human in a costume. They can do it. But
Can't do it. They can't do it. And I would, go follow MK Davis over at his Facebook page and look at his presentations. And then if you still feel that way, then that's okay. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's not a hill to die on, that's for sure. But it's yeah, I'm pretty convinced that they found something. They captured how they did it. I mean, I haven't been able to crack that out of or bring that out from MK. He's been bringing out subtle hints here and there, but I'm starting to think that maybe some kind of rituals were performed there, if that makes sense. And if you think about shamanism and Native American witchcraft and that kind of thing, and could it possibly a combination of those things, along with just the right technology and the right people involved, be able to capture it? Because most of us, we're not going out of our. I mean, I'm not like, there was times when I pray to Heavenly Father and all that, and I'm vocal about it, but I'm not like going out of my way conjuring these things up to film them. You know what I mean?
right.
And I'll probably after this week, I probably won't bother filming anything for another year because I already know they're there. To me, I'm already convinced. So, and I'm not going to be one of these guys that's. I think it's not healthy, at least for me, to be completely obsessed with this. Does that make sense?
Well, it does. I have to, last few months I have taken sabbaticals from doing anything. I had to take about a 2-3 day sabbatical here recently from even writing my near death experience because it got on my nerves.
Well, it drains you
spiritually,
mentally and spiritually, and there's something that's going on. When you interact with what we call like the spirit realm, which I think that's what we're doing here, in a way, in a strong way, we are interacting in the spirit realm, and there's consequences, and it's not just mentally and emotionally. There's other things that happen too. So, I mean, since this started happening and I started filming this stuff, it's like, once again, I don't like going out my front porch because there's things watching me again. You know what I mean? But I remind myself they've always been watching me, and they've been watching everybody else too. And I think familiar spirits are heavily involved in this too, elemental spirits, and etc. But these are things that are taboo to talk about in the Bigfoot community because of the official narrative. We got to follow one direction. We talked about this already, but
there's like 2 or 3 different offshoots of what a Bigfoot may be: flesh and blood, metaphysical, or a combination of all 3. And I'm on the what if it's all 3?
I'm all 3, and probably a lot more that we just don't understand.
Yep.
So, and that's it. So we don't know what kind of what we're really getting ourselves into. We really don't. And I don't know, man. There's a lot of people who've been doing this a lot longer than you and I, who have spent decades doing this, and they, at least in private, in closed doors, or even in their diaries, they're saying the same thing. So I don't know what else to do. But yeah, it's just, in the Patterson film, I would once again strongly give MK Davis a chance. Listen to him. There's a lot of people that's been claiming forever and ever day that it's fake, right? It's fake, it's fake, it's fake. Most people don't even have the original video. You know what I mean? They don't. Mm-hmm. And when they do share something, it's like how many generations removed from even like the third, the the third generation that people first started like showing, especially like in the cinemas and the theaters. And by the way, there's a valid point to say that this is fake. And the reason I went into Bigfoot research, and I'll bring it up again, was because of this video, the Patterson film, and that I was going to go out myself and prove that it was a government psyop. I couldn't do it when I was honest about it. And it's really easy to to react or to just follow other people's. Don't believe what I'm saying. Go out yourself and find out the best resources you can about it. And you put the pieces together the best you can. You're going to probably come around with the same conclusion that I have, that Shawn has, and a lot of other people who've seriously looked into it. And by the way, hey, is it so bad to find out you're wrong about something and correct yourself? You know what I mean? I mean, it's nice to actually find out some truth in a world full of lies to begin with, Gosh, it's so hard, It's a lot of work. So, anyways, thank you for letting me come on. I'm not gonna be, I hope to do another show with you in the future here, but I'm not going to be like harassing you, my friend, and every time you're. But this is what's happening, and I think it'd be timely to share some of what I'm going through. You know what I mean, and let other people know that there's something really is happening in this world, in our woods, in our communities, and this stuff is not being talked about. Very little has been talked about. You know what I mean? It's
if the mainstream media takes a hold of, they are always presenting it as tongue in cheek. You won't believe this kind of thing and laughing before they even make a statement about it. So
yeah, and it's you guys ask yourselves the question: why are they doing it? Why? Propaganda is real. And social engineering is real, and all of us have fallen victim to it. And it's something that we all have to embrace and accept and try to break away from as best as possible. And that requires that individually, we're all going to have to do a lot of our own research on whatever topic. You're gonna have to really get into it. You know what I mean? You can't. Reading a book or watching a few videos it really doesn't qualify as research, does it, Shawn? It takes a little more than that. You know what I mean? It really does. I mean, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody. I had to figure this out myself. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to jump into it and then answer your own questions. It's all fine and dandy having somebody that you trust to hand you the answer, but what if the person that you trust, their answer is, based on, fake stuff, their own biased opinion? Well, if they woke up and said, I am not going to believe anything that anybody says about this particular subject, period. And that goes on all the freaking time. That cancel culture is basically what it is. Now, I don't begrudge anybody their opinion, whether they believe something's real or fake. That's your opinion. That's fantastic. God gave us free will to believe or disbelieve anything. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, we can't really force anybody else to see it our way, one way or the other. So all we can do is encourage each other and to find out for yourself. Really, it's because then you might not be able to prove to everyone else what you know, but at least you know it. You know it, right. And there's no. And then it's almost like it's philosophical and religious, almost in nature, right? It gets to the point where beating the heck out of each other over things that.
Well, you get into the point where they, some people get it to where they take it on like it is a religion. How dare you disbelieve me, or how dare you, say, the opposite of what I just said? Then they get to their ruffles up, and what the heck are you gonna do with that?
It's nothing, and it's funny. It's a funny experiment. like you and I and Shelly were together couple of weeks ago when we were looking at some of my images, and how
Yeah.
all three of us saw different things. Do you notice
Right.
that? All of us saw
Mhm.
different things, and it's such a reflection of the world that we live in. How we see different, we could all be in the same moment, having the same experience, and yet see it so differently. It's kind of like the classic thing about, you witnesses to a car accident. Everyone sees it different from a different angle, and that's always going to be the case. So,
Absolutely. Well, Mike, I appreciate you jumping on board here, buddy.
okay, brother. Talk
All
to you
right.
later.
All right. See you.
See ya.
All right. There you go, Mike. Old religion dystopia. Appreciate him popping on there. And, for the folks that, disagree with me or agree with me, fantastic. The Gimlin film, the Patterson Gimlin film, I believe is one of the best examples of a Bigfoot in the wild. From the 60s, I have yet to find anything that convinces me. But, if like AJK and anyone else in the chat that thinks that it is fake, that's great. If you believe that, I don't hold it against you that you disagree with me or not, or agree with me. That's one of the things I've had a few arguments in the past about people disagree with me. I don't care. I don't care if you believe me or believe me or disbelieve me. But anyway, that being said, uh, wow, thanks. Waiting for Beth to pop on. She's supposed to call in from North Carolina, see what's going on with that. Banshiba posted a link. Let me make sure I get a link here for a Podmatic podcast. Yeah, Banshiba's one was along with AJK. And like I said, this is chasing the truth. I may have it absolutely wrong, and I am one of those folks that if you present enough evidence, I may change my mind. And what was the other one? I believe it was this one. This was the AJ Cave there, and I posted both under Chasing Truth Sean G over on YouTube. If you're over on the Paranormal Radio app, no, you can't grab those links, but if you run over to Chasing Truth Sean G, it is in the live chat. Let's see, it is 10:30 p.m. if you look at it. And how long have we been doing? It's an hour and 37 minutes into the broadcast. So if you run over there and look at the 137 on the replay, you should see the two links that supposedly disprove that the Patterson Gimlin film is fake. Now, I have no problem with presenting either or sides. Make up your mind. Period. So, if it AJK, if it is a costume, they did a pretty good job at that costume. How did they get the muscle flexion in the costume underneath the costume? That's the big thing. I don't know, but we can have that kind of discussion a little bit later or whatever. But hey, whatever. I'm not here to argue over that. If you believe it's real, great. If you don't, great. And I'm putting it to bed for right now. Next up, we were talking about, well, let's go ahead and find something else. Let's see. I played this Saturday night, and I actually liked it fairly well. This is from How to Hunt, and I think I'm gonna play it one more time just because it's just such a fascinating video. Thanks to Shell for sharing this with me to start off with. Let me go ahead and get this shared out. It is of a game camera that's taking video of something. I think it's up in British Columbia, maybe. But I played this like 3 or 4 times, and the audio on it, there's no audio on it really. But there's something back at the tree line that reaches out and grabs what looks like, I think, maybe a deer. Yeah, I can see the deer horns now that you mentioned it, show. I just saw 'em. I don't know why I couldn't see them before, but I just saw them. Oh, that's cool, Callus. Appreciate that. I hope that everything works out for Chase, his ex-wife, and his son. Oh my lord, I'm sure Chase probably just beside himself. And pray to God that they are, without a doubt, found. But this particular video is over on How to Hunt. Now, whatever grabs this deer, now I can see the deer antlers. Right about there is where I see them. But whatever this is, it grabs this deer. Whatever grabs this deer, looks like it pulls it down into a hole. Yeah, I could. Yeah, it kicks its legs out from under it and then pulls it into a hole. It's amazing. Give Beth a couple more minutes if she's going to wind up. She said she was going at a grocery store in the chat just a little bit ago and call in a little bit later tonight. I had not planned on doing a 2-hour show. I was going to say 1 hour. And if it got a little warmer for discussion, which it has, I'll carry on. So, where we go. Something larger than a black bear grabbed that deer by its head and snatched it out of existence. You're probably right, Sue. That's what it looks like to me. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I did not, there for a while, I was, whatever that thing was, I was kind of wondering, was it one of those coyotes that was in the actual first video, which I don't have the first video queued, so I can't really play it, but it's over on How to Hunt. Whatever it is, overpowered this deer, kicked it to the ground and pushed it into maybe a hole. That's what it looks like. And that's up in Canada, folks. So if you want to go up in Canada and get lost, something's going to be alongside you, without a doubt. Make a booty go pow. Okay, Sheldon. Holy cow. So, there you go. Stop sharing that rascal. And I had to leave the Bigfoot Reddit group for saying the film was fake. Okay, well, that's cool. You don't have to leave my group. I don't, if you have a different opinion, that's cool. I don't have a problem with it. What in the world? Ancient Origins Unleashed. Trial of the Weevils? Okay. Weird stuff coming up on my email, which I'm not going to share that email with you, but it looks interesting. You're allowed to believe that. Yep. Absolutely, without a doubt. Next up, what I'm going to do is, well, this is a weird ghost video, or maybe a ghost video, but I'm going to, I can't remember. No, I can't play this audio because it's just music. There's no audio, but it looks like it is a security camera inside maybe a apartment or a house. And there's no real talking or anything. It's all just weird stuff. Oh, got a call? Give me just a second. Hello, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you from? Hey, Beth, what's going on? I'm doing all right. I got you. All right, now I got you. Gotcha.
All right.
Beth is on the phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with comments. I think I'm delayed, so it's hard to get real-time comments.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, it's about a 30-second delay on my end. If you can turn down audio in the background.
I did. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I did. I mean,
All right. Great.
okay.
Fantastic. So what's going on at your place in North Carolina now?
Well, here recently, it's been about, 2 weeks ago? Well, let me back this up. About, I would say 2 months ago, when I was taking our dog out to use the bathroom at night, I kept hearing, it sounded like something large across in the wood line across from our house. And I kept telling Kurt, my husband, I was like, there's something over there like making a big loud stomping noise. I'm not sure what it is. I know there's a lot of deer out here where we live out, like tons of deer. It's like polluted really bad.
Mhm.
I kept hearing like this real loud stomping, and he was in the Marine Corps, so he's lost a lot of his hearing, so he can't hear as well as I can. But I was like, something over there is moving and it's big. Well, he ignored me for quite some time, and then how many days ago was that? Like 6-7 days ago. I'm trying to remember like the exact date. I was in there with my daughter in the room, and he comes in there and he's like, I need to talk to you real quick. And I'm like, well, okay. So I come in the front room, and he said that he was outside with the dog by himself because, he tends to ignore me. I guess that's just something with him. I don't know. But, he was out there with Toby, our dog, and he walked up that area, and he said that something threw something at him. He didn't know exactly what it was. He said it's like a rock when it hit. And he said he happened to look down, and the leaf kind of, it lifted. It's in his peripheral vision. And I'm trying to honestly picture how he done this. But anyway, he heard this rock or object hit the ground like right at him. And he had a flashlight. When he shot the flashlight up, there was these sets of eyes in the woods. So at this point, he come in here, told me. I went back out there. He brought the dog inside. I went back out there, and these eyes were still sitting there. And we've seen things very similar to those eyes, but it's been right when all of the stuff started happening here. But they were the weirdest looking eyes, and it wasn't a deer. We've got a ton of deer. I've seen deer numerous times, but I'm trying to describe how they look. It's almost, they look like a type of lens almost. Like the whole entire eye was lit up. They were huge. Yeah, it wasn't just like a retina, if that makes sense. Like deer's eyes are positioned kind of on the side of their head. And a lot of times, I don't see any deer, which they could, but it would be very weird for a deer to. And the flashlights we were using were very high powered. Like, what is the strength of the ones we have? Like 5,000 lumens. So they're very strong. And I don't see any deer, and even deer we've shined lights at before, just sitting there this was in what I would say like 20 feet. Maybe 30 at max from us, just sitting there. And they did not turn their head side to side, nothing, just like a dead stare. And yeah, it was so weird because when we were shining at them, their eyes, one of the subjects, I'm going to say subjects because I don't know exactly what it was. One of the eyes were turning like a red color, and the other one was orange. And then it would shift to like a blue and then a green. It was very weird in appearance. And I'm trying to honestly explain how these things' eyes look. Yeah, they were, when it was staring, there was two sets of them, but I was like really focused on one set. But when it was staring, it started squinting, and you could literally see you could see the illumination behind, so you could see that whole entire outline of this thing's eye. It was the weirdest thing. And we had actually I had took my cell phone out there that night, and every time I would shine my flashlight upward toward the woodland to try to focus in on them, my phone was, getting foggy, like cloudy, like the lens was. But something while we were out there threw something again, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm done. But it was a very eerie situation. But so oddly, after we did that happened, we put trail cams over there. And he decided to do it. We've seen him a few nights in a row.
We couldn't hear that thing that was yours on that yell.
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But we put trail cams out, and because I thought, well, he had the idea of doing that because he thought maybe, if whatever this was, and I had heard this thing over there making these big stomping noises for, like I said, a good 6 weeks, if not more, 2 months, and before that ever happened. And I just didn't go up that far, along the road to see what it was, or I don't want to dabble in that stuff, like, So I'm not, after all the stuff that's happened, I don't really want to, poke things too much. That's just how I am. So it's the kind of fear that comes in you. It's not something that you want to, toy around with. But he put the trail cams up, but there was nothing. Yeah, there was nothing that he actually caught on the trail cams. And then when he put those up, it was during sundown. And I told him because a lot of activity was going on during sundown. We would always see a lot of strange stuff. When I say strange things, I've seen some of the most weirdest things very weird things happen. And so they seem to be more active at sundown, and then, when the sun rises sometimes. So he put those trail cams up when the sun was going down, and I had told him, I was like, for some reason, they probably are watching. You put them up. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I had said to him. And there was a few videos that he had, that was captured on there that was just a blur, and I couldn't figure out why. It just didn't make any sense. But anyway, he interrupted me and I was talking, but you want to tell him, or you want me to tell him? Huh? Go ahead. If you
tell him what?
About the noise or whatever with the video that night.
Oh, I was just talking about the thing that was.
So the thing that usually howls, on that last video, that the recording that when I went live, the thing that usually howls, that particular night that I was recording those eyes, when we were sitting out there, there was no noise that I heard. I didn't hear any howling noises, anything at all, besides the thud after I was out there for a bit. And I was like, okay, we were looking at those eyes. When we come in and I replayed the video, I have an image, but it only picked up one eyeball. And that's weird too, but I video recorded it. I just couldn't see him for my, it's a S10 Samsung Galaxy, but it just would not focus. Yeah, and I have a really expensive camera too, a Nikon camera, and it just blurred. I couldn't get it to focus. And that's happened a lot with electronic devices around here when I try to use them. But when I replayed the video back, you could hear that thing howl on the video recording. But literally when we were out there, I do not recall at all hearing anything howl. It was really quiet. And I've found that to be so strange. I don't know what goes on with these things. I don't know if they're capable of blocking sound, or they're capable of making sound that someone, or projecting a sound that somebody can hear and somebody else can't hear. I really think they can. And just because of personal experience, there's been so many times where I have been outside, my husband's been outside, I have been screaming for him at the top of my lungs and he's not heard me. Or we will hear a noise and it will sound different to him than me. There's been a lot of things that's very weird. That
made that weird noise.
Yeah. He just brought something to my attention too. That same night we were out there, we were walking in the house and something made some awkward noise. I don't know what it was, but it made a very awkward noise. And then it's so weird how that happens. I don't understand what they do or what if they are. I love to have closure to a lot of questions like that, and you know, I don't know, but
You read the comments and like,
yeah,
you couldn't like answer people's questions and people,
yeah, and so as far as like I've seen, are you still there? I think you.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I know that Darkwater shared that video or whatever. When we had the last the prior podcast with me going live on there, and you know, it's a different experience. I read some of the comments on there, and it can kind of get, you know, frustrating sometimes because, you know, there's people, I know that I said the word like a lot. I even noticed it myself. And I think that's just because when you're trying to find a word to fill in the gaps, or people don't understand when you're not prepared, you do a random call in, that it's very difficult sometimes to talk and to try to get everything squeezed in. Or like me, I have a huge fear of, not really, well, I guess it is a certain fear, but whenever you've had a lot of stuff go on, and like I had said before, and I'll say it again, I'll say it 100 times, I never believed in Bigfoot, never believed in Dogman, definitely not Dogman, never believed. The only thing that I ever truly was a like firm believer with was paranormal stuff, because I had grown up and I had experienced a lot of paranormal activity. I had a near-death experience, and then I seen a lot of well, not a lot, but I had seen what I had thought to be a UFO when I was a child. And I'm pretty dead set it was, but, you know, my parents kind of covered that. So they seen it too. But anyway, I believe that there was possibly UFOs, believed in the paranormal realm, but I never, ever believed in, like, Bigfoot, Dogman, things like that, especially Dogman. And a lot of things sort of happened to me in my, you know, my life that led me to that road. And then I was kind of like one of those people at first, because I'm one of those that has to experience something firsthand before I can say, okay, yeah, that's for a fact. Even when I was going through things here at home, it was very, very frightening. It was scary, one of the scariest times of my life. But I was seriously trying to, I guess, I was trying to find an answer, and I wanted answers for myself. I wanted to know, like, what it was. I wanted to debunk it, and I really thought there would be a logical explanation, something that was normal, you know, what we would call normal. And when I say that, like, being something that's realistic to what we know, what we're taught. And I thought that there was some type of animal or something. There had to be, and I just kept on like digging and digging, and there was nothing that explained everything that was going on. So I turned to that, you know, and then when I did, it was, you know, everything that I was experiencing was so similar to other people's experiences. And I started noticing a lot more things, and everything sort of happened at that point in time. Everything, it was just like unfolding. And then I had people saying, oh, it's, you know, it could be a dog man. And I was like, okay, this is too far now. You know, I think in my head, this is getting a little bit too far. But then, you know, we've had a lot of stuff go on that it possibly very well could be. I'm very open-minded now, and I was very closed-minded to the subject a long time ago. And but when I say stuff like, you know, I hear people that they've commented on that video, and they've said things like, oh, well, she doesn't sound emotional in her voice, things like that. I did not go to tell anybody. I didn't go online. I didn't talk about it. I didn't speak about my experiences. Because you have a fear of rejection. You have a fear of people thinking you're a Fruit Loop. You have a fear of thinking, and maybe that's possibly because I once was that way myself, like critical. But, you know, you just have a fear in you of not knowing, you know, what somebody's going to say or think about you, things like that. And, but, you know, I had, and it's way deeper. Like when people are out and they're like, just say they had experiences away from their home. Mm-hmm. This is one of the things that happened to me. When you have something happen to you away from your home is your sanctuary. You can always pack your bags, pack your tent, whatever. You can like leave, go home, and that's your safety net. That's your home. And when you start having all this crazy stuff happen at your house, you have nowhere to turn. And people can say, well, you can pack your stuff and leave. You can do this, the suggestions and all this stuff. But that feeling of not knowing what you're up against, not knowing what these things are capable of, not knowing, you have to literally think about, it's like dissecting something, everything that could happen as a result of your actions. So I was like, well, if I go on and I tell people and it leaks out and it gets to the wrong person or something, because I honestly, I have video footage. And let me tell you something. I have video footage and it's not questionable. Like, there's no question to that footage. Like, if I wanted to post that footage, I don't know who would be at my door, because it's one of those videos where Dark Waters had that guy blue on his I think it was like a baseball thing or whatever, and he captured that big tall thing. I have video footage and it's clearer than that, and there's multiples, not just one, in the daytime.
Oh,
seriously. And that's the turning point to when and weirdly, during this time frame when I was videotaping this, I was on live stream walking through the woods, and all this stuff has started going on around here. And I was like, okay, I created a private group on my Facebook with a select few people. I had, I think, 19 or 20 people that were joined that had to befriend me on Facebook, which know my real name, or befriend me, first and last name. Then that group that I had created was a private group within my Facebook account. So, like, even my friends, my family members could not even see that group. I had to invite these people to my group. And I was on live stream, and I felt comfortable like that, because when I would go outside and sit, and I was doing, I guess you could say, like, my own investigation, because we were getting tormented here. Like, we've had our door pushed in. I mean, just numerous things. Like, it wasn't pushed all the way in, but we've had so many things happen. We were getting tormented, and I was like, you can't call the cops. You can't call 911. What are you going to say? Oh, well, we've got something in our woods. They're going to think you're crazy. And there was so much going on. So we did that group, and I had to calm myself down. I'm like, okay, we're not dead yet. You know what I mean? So, something's going to have to give. We're going to have to find out something, whatever. So I started sitting outside at nighttime, very close to the front door on our front porch, me and Kurt, and we would go live every single night and trying to figure out what was going on, we've had things huff at us in the woods. I mean, I feel like our woods was like, just the trees were coming down. You could literally feel the ground shaking. And these things would stop and start like huffing. It was like so scary. But I felt like if I was on live stream, if something happened to me, then there would be some type of evidence, like somebody would be able to see, okay, something did this to her, or I felt like I was safer, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So that particular day, it was in the daylight, I was on live. And when I was up there was a few, I guess you would say, structures, what people call structures. They look like igloos made from wood. And people call those structures with the Bigfoot community and stuff like that. And I was looking at a few of those, and I just felt so weird there. Like, I had this feeling come over my body, like I didn't belong there. I had to get out of there. It was just like an immediate dread. And all of a sudden I heard a thump, like a really loud thump. And when I did, I said, I'm getting the hell out. And I said a few select cuss words. It was more, and then I started like cussing Kurt out, because he went through like the thickest part of the woods. And I'm like, what are you doing? Because, this is just crazy. I'm like, we can simply go out right here, and you're walking through this thick shit, and like I'm over here getting stuck. I can't even. I was like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. That's all I kept saying. And I literally was so scared that I went through the neighbor's like yard, and she was at her kitchen, and I was like, hey, can I walk through your yard? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool, because it come out at their yard. So yeah, I didn't give a shit. Like at that point in time, I was like, I don't care what she thinks. I walk in through her yard. I don't care. I'm getting away from here. But when and they're very strange people. They're like very like to themselves. But when I got home and I looked on that live stream and I saved the video, when I looked on there, I seen, and knowing what I seen and knowing that I could not at that time see those things with my eyes, but I could see that on the recording. That was the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed or ever. I was like, what in the heck? Like how like I literally felt that I shouldn't be there. I felt the presence. I felt something was telling me that I need to get the hell out of there, that I didn't belong there. That was, that I wasn't welcome. And all the things, I even heard that loud, like it sounded like something fell, like a tree, like a small tree or something, like a big thud. But I didn't see anything, not one single thing. But when I get home, I see it all on video recording. And if you slow it down, you can literally see these things running, jumping. There's small ones. There's like I don't know if it's a mom or a dad. It's an adult, one or two adults on the right-hand side. That video would explode if I posted it all over the internet. But when you're going through all these things, you have to think about, there's a if you do something, there's everything that's like a chain reaction. If it's a cause and effect situation. So everything you do, you're going to have a reaction out of it. And I didn't want to do something that was going to make a bigger situation out of what was going on. I was like, okay, am I going to piss these things off? I don't want to have like the government down here at my house. I don't want to have, you know what I mean? If that makes sense. I don't want, if these things are out here and if that was the case scenario and I didn't see them, caught them on video, but I knew they were there, obviously there's something beyond, human-like, something that I can kill or whatever they are. So if the government comes down here or whatnot be it, and I piss those things off, God knows what could happen. And that's the kind of stuff that was going through my head. Do you just, try to create the safest place and just swallow all the hell that you're going through at the time and just deal with it? Or, like, what do you do? And it's a very mentally challenging situation. You can't run from it. You can't go anywhere. And, I have prayed. I have people, suggest that we pray and all things like that. I've done all of the things like that. I've done all those things. So it's not anything like demonic. I really do not think that's messing with me and my family, or that has messed with me and my family. I do notice over the course of, it takes time. And when I say that, when things start happening, and they started happening with me, of course, I'm just going to speak for myself. At first, I was closed-minded to the fact, like I said, I was very closed-minded to I didn't even know there was other cryptids. Okay, I heard a Bigfoot, that was it. And this was back in 2018. I didn't think about anything else, nothing of that nature, but it took time for, it just, one thing led to another, something led to another, and then something led to another, and then over a course of months, and then year two, going on year two, one thing starts evolving into something else, and you start seeing a connection to and similarities of things that are going around you. And just, there's all sorts of things. You have like your own theory or your own experiences that kind of connect the dots for you. And it took a long time for, me to actually, there's still, I'm not claiming to know anything like that or everything or anything. There's a lot probably, and nobody really knows, what's really going on. But, there's a lot of stuff that I noticed that just here recently, and at first people were asking me, well, do you have more activity in the winter or in the spring or in the summer? And blase, blase. And I said, it's constant. There's no difference. There's a difference. But then, when we seen those eyes, like we seen, and I had told Kurt about this, I said, it's kind of weird because it seems like now they're more active during fall. And I thought, I wonder if, since there is hunting season going on right now, if being that we have a lot of, people, we have a lot of land around us, a lot of woodland, acres upon acres. If these hunters and things of that sort are running these things closer to people's homes or closer to people because they're trying to get away from hunters. And that's, I guess, the most logical thing I could think of. And it just may be just by mere coincidence. I don't know. But, those eyes were very, and Kurt's sitting right here on speaker phone. Like, he can tell you, he's hunted his whole entire life. Like, he is an outdoors person. He was in the military, he's Marine Corps. He's very knowledgeable about wildlife, and whatever those things were not deer. They it's almost like they did not have any whites to their eyes. The whole entire, it looked, to me, the eyes looked so, they kind of look unrealistic, if that makes any sense whatsoever. They did not look real. They looked like, of course, like an eye, but it didn't look like something that's, I don't know, blood and flesh. It just looked something, maybe it's because it's out of the norm for me or something, but it did not look blood and flesh. It just looked unrealistic. But they were definitely blinking, and the way the eye color was changing was very strange. And they were so, they weren't, we have seen eyes that have shined like infrared lights that have lit up like blue, or they have lit up red, and it was almost like a light, but which in turn that would not be eye shine. We've seen those before. That was just like a constant. Both the eyes were lit up. It was very, very weird.
And where they were at.
And yeah, where they were at.
They would have to be like at least like 10 to 12 feet to be eye level with us.
Yeah, they would have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know if you heard what he said, but where they were at in relation to where we were standing along the side of the road, they would have had to be very, very tall for us to be, level with them, eye level. They possibly couldn't be laying down because they had to be the size of a dinosaur or something, because it goes into like a ravine down where we were at, where they were at, like a very steep embankment down. So if they were standing there, they had to be pretty good height to be able where we could see their eyes, and they weren't in a tree. So, but when I was looking at them though, like I had said, and I'm trying to explain this the best way possible, but it's almost like I could see the outline, the whole entire, like the eye shine was behind the skin or something. I don't know how to explain that. So I could see the entire outline of this thing's eyes. It was very awkward. But
were there any color variations to these different dogmen or whatever?
Went out to the eyes. Is that what you're asking?
To the eyes, or the body, or whatever you saw.
I didn't see a body whatsoever. Like, there was that night, there was no body. Okay. They did not move their heads back and forth, nothing. They were just a dead stare. And one of it was
white on their neck.
Yeah. Now Kurt said he's seen white on one of No, he didn't see white. Sorry. Okay, he did not see white. I didn't see anything but these eyes, which was awkward. There was, when we shined that light, you could not see a snout. You couldn't see anything else. It was just eyes, and they were clearly eyes. And when we were looking at them, just say the right eye, yeah, it would be its right eye would be red. It was changing colors. Like, so the white eye would turn red and the left eye would be like an orange color. And then all of a sudden, like a few seconds later, one of those eyes would turn blue and the other one would turn green. It was just, they were changing colors, and then they would go back to the same color, like a yellowish color. Well, it's kind of like a yellow, white, honestly. It was a weird color, or an amber. And then what was you going to say?
Does he know what makes, do you know how you can tell if an animal's eyes, like, if you get to see eye shine, do you know how you can tell if it's a predator or if they're a prey animal? Like if they eat grass or like a deer or a cow or a horse?
Like the roundness of their eye?
No, I mean, I'm sure people know this, but you can tell right away if something's a predator because their eyes are forward facing like humans.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because we see in 3 dimensions. That's why your sight, each eye overlaps each other. That's why we can see in 3 dimensions, and like cows and stuff can only see 2-dimensional because they can only see out of one eye, one direction, and their eyesight doesn't overlap. These things were clearly, their eyes were face forward, and the mirrors in your eyes are what causes the eye shine, I'm sure you know. And most that's in your pupil.
All right.
And there's cones in your eyes and all that stuff. And humans can see in the dark too, but we don't have the reflective cones like animals. Most animals have to see in the dark. But anyway, them things, like, seriously, like, deer have a really round, this pupil lights up. And one of the only other animals I know that has a red reflective eye is like rabbits. And dogs can have anywhere from blue to green to white, and some of it is on what their diet is and what their light source is that reflects back. But I don't know, whatever them things were, it's weird because deer are very skittish and they're very aware of their surroundings. And at the same time, after we seen those 2 sets of eyes the first night, there was probably like 10 deer on the field behind to our left and across the road, and their eyes were totally different. Like, you can see the roundness, I mean, and as soon as you shine the light, they like start bobbing their heads, and then like after like 10 seconds they like trot it, like just skittish off.
They're honestly really comfortable around humans. I mean, they're not they don't just
these deer around here like are really used to like people pretty much. I mean, you can't walk up to them or anything, but like they're not like deer that never seen humans. But the things across the road, like I walked the dog up through the leaves in the side of the road the first time and walked up in the pitch dark, and I had my flashlight, but I didn't turn it on. And so I ignore a lot of stuff like noises, and a lot of them I just don't hear. And she can hear them, but I can't. And it has to be pretty like distinct or loud. But that's another thing why I know they're not deer, because they weren't far. They were probably at most like 15, 20 yards from the edge of the road, like in the woods. And whenever me and him turned around and come back down, he started going to the bathroom, and out of my vision of my eye, like I seen the leaves kick up, and I can see what direction, whatever it was, what side, where it came from. And I just happened to turn the flashlight on and shined it up from the direction into the woods, and there was that set of eyes. And that thing like was wide-eyed and didn't turn its head at all, and it was like staring at me. And I was like telling the dog, he just stood there, like didn't want to, he was like frozen. I'm like, come on, Toby, come on. And then there was another set lit up beside it.
So what was so weird?
And
he had time to walk all the way back.
Yeah, I walked all the way back to the house, brought the dog in, and me and her went back out and went back up there, and these things would not move. They would like you could literally see them give you like the meanest look, like their eyes went from wide open, and not like a squint, like they were like blinded by the light, like a pissed off look. Like it was just very weird. Like I just
like you could see
and I'm not saying that they're not an animal. It's just not normal behavior for a deer, especially to be that close. They would have took off. They would have snorted and grunted and all that. And they were clearly probably from as far as they looked away from us, their eyes were probably about 6 inches apart, like from inside to inside of their eye, from where that next one started. And they were very forward-facing eyes. They weren't like on the sides of its head. Like a deer, you can see half the eye, half an eye. You can clearly see the shape of their head.
Anybody in chat has heard this, or anybody in chat has heard this noise before, or anybody knows. I don't know, because I've just recently, over the past 6 months, like here and there, heard this happening. But when I was hearing this noise, and Kurt's tone deaf, not, he's lost like 80% of his hearing because he got blown up with the IED. I'm saying, he was in a Humvee when he was serving, and in active duty. But anyway, so he's lost a lot of his hearing just from combat and all that stuff. And I think he's got tone deafness there with him, because there's some noises that it's odd that he just can't hear. Or like I said, it may be because they project sound to certain, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, but there is times where I honestly question that. But I keep hearing it sounds, and I know there is not cattle in woods. That would be very extreme if you heard where this noise comes from. But it's like it honestly would sound like the most relative to a bear moan, maybe, and a cow mixed. It's like a murr, but like really, really deep, and you can tell whatever it is.
You have one of those recordings with you right now that you can share?
I don't know if I have anything right on hand where I could actually play it. I do have some stuff on SD cards, but
okay. Let me see if I can.
It does sound. It sounds, if you crossed a cow and a black bear or something, did like a moan, but it's it's like a moo, like real deep, and then it just stops. But you could tell it's large. When these big movements or these loud movements occur, when I say loud movements, I mean like I've heard big stomps across where he had that thing where those eyes were.
All right.
Big stomp. And I kept telling him, there's something up there is big, and I'm not going to F up there. That's what I told him. That's my exact words. I'm like, whatever. And I've actually got mad at him a couple of nights, because Kurt's one of those ones. Sometimes I don't know why I told him, please do not forget what's happened. And he doesn't, but I think a lot of it's like, he has told me before where he don't want to live, with this big fear, but, sometimes you have to overcome stuff, but then he doesn't let his guard down. But then I feel like sometimes he does let his guard down too much. Because, if you only knew what's happened, I don't even know how I'm even able to go outside, honestly, but I do. You know what I'm saying? And I know it sounds crazy, because the people are probably thinking, well, if all this has happened out there, then why I wouldn't even be going out the house. But you kind of have to learn to live around it, and then you kind of come to realization, but I never let my guard down, and I was like, I'm not going up there. And I've got mad at him. I'm like, if you want to go up there, you're stupid as hell, because if something happens to my dog, because you're dumb ASS is walking up there after I've told you I've heard this big stomp noise, then you're just an idiot. He's my husband, but I've gotten upset about it before. And he goes up there, and then he kept going, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I would never go up there that far up the road with him. And Toby would have to. Our dog is picky, but he would go up there with the dog. The dog would look like he's scared to death and wouldn't even use the bathroom. But that particular night is whenever whatever it was, obviously threw something at him. He's like, whatever. And what's so crazy is like, he knew, he's like, that thing threw a rock at me. He's like, I don't know what it was, but he's like, whatever that thing is over there threw a rock at me. And I'm like, well, how did you know it was a rock? And he's like, just the sound of it. He's like, it made a huge thud when it hit the ground. And, but it was kind of crazy how that panned out. He goes, just keeps going up there every night. And then all of a sudden, and just he says where the dog wanted to go, but I don't know. But anyways, I think more or less he just wanted him to use the bathroom, and but anyway, so yeah, but it's just that happened since then, and then I've seen a couple weird things, as far as the it looks like a translucent ball, like size of a softball, flying through the air in a roller coaster motion, and then like it kind of fizzles out, like dies away, like or dissipates. It travels about in a straight line, but like I said, like an up and down roller coaster, like that kind of swoop when it travels, and it travels about 20 to 30 feet and then dissipates. And I would say it's about 20 foot off the ground, and it comes from the woods, and then it just dissipates in the yard. I've seen that happen a handful of times during this the last couple of months. That's happened. And then last night, now Kurt can explain this because I have no idea. Let's see, I'm trying to explain the relation where the house is.
Well, I did find the recording. If you want to, you may be able to hear it on your end as well. If you want to hold for about 30 seconds, I'll play about 30 seconds of it.
Okay.
All right? Can you hear it okay?
Yeah, I can hear it well. I can just barely hear if you get that noise, that moaning noise is not on that particular video. That moan, there's a lot of weird, strange noises on that video that you're playing, or that you're playing right now. But the moaning that we see was not the same thing. It's different from what, I mean, it sounds large. And there's one particular vocal that's in that video that is a very deep. You hear a lot of like, it sounds like dogs or some type of canine or some kind of like rapid like wah 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 wah. If you put headphones on and listen to it, and we have the actual recording, so it's really clear. And then you hear the deep like that, whatever that is, that's really large in size, which is the thing that obviously, or something similar to what growled at us that night. It like huge, whatever was pissed off, that big thing. But the noise that I've heard lately, it sounds like if you cross a bear with a cow. It's like a weird moan, but it's very deep. And I know you would almost think it was a cow, but it's a weird sounding one, very weird. But and we're like, well, maybe it's a bear moan, but we don't really have bear typically in our area, even though we do live, central North Carolina. We live like near like a mountainous terrain. We don't have there is some black bear here and there, but they're more so in the mountains than they are like, they're very few far in between around where we live at, black bear. But I don't think it would sound like that, but it's an awkward moan, and that's why I've never heard that before, that particular moan that I've heard lately. I do have it on recording though, but I have to pull out one of my SD cards. But we've heard that the last, like I said, half a year. I started hearing that weird moaning, and where it's coming from, there's no cattle. This is coming from, if there was a cow, if that was a bull, which that's not possible. But if there was one, it would have to walk down a large rocky walled mountainside, and then cross a creek bed, then back up another one, and then get loose from somebody's pasture like miles away. I mean, it would just be unrealistic, So I don't know what's made that noise. But this has just been here recently. As far as last night, like our neighbor that lives there used to be a patch of woods at the side of our house, but they tore down some of those trees. And then the guy that lives there when his dad passed away, he, started living in the house, and he had a German Shepherd outside, and he's put it into a kennel. And Kurt said last night, and he had I think electric wire on the bottom of it, because according to his son or something, that the dog tries to chew his way out of the kennel. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, but Kurt said last night when he went outside and peed, I guess it's just a male thing. He walked outside on the front porch and took a leak before he came in the house. But he was outside, and he said he looked down there, and the whole entire inside of the kennel was illuminated, and he seen like a human figure standing there. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? And I don't know. I don't know how he's trying to describe it. He said the whole entire inside of the kennel was illuminated, and there was a figure standing there. And he said he thought it was Kyle, the guy that lives there, but he said there's no way it could have been him, because he's like, and it was the most awkward thing. He's like, I don't know how the inside. He's like, the light was like coming from the inside of the kennel, and I had the whole. I guess. What were you talking about? Like the panels, you could see the light coming from inside the kennel versus the outside shining in. He said the whole fence was lit up all the way around it, and I guess it was just like I don't know. Yeah, he said he thought his eyes were all messed up, or he was seeing something. Yeah, but there's no light out there. It's in the backyard, and it's dark. But he's seen the whole. So I don't know what was going on down there. But there's been a lot of activity around this area, and so yeah. But I don't want to waste a whole lot of time tonight, because I know it's getting late and everything. But as far as the comments, like I said, you see a lot of people that are. I've said a lot, but it's very, very hard finally opening up and saying, okay, well, I'm going to go tell, a few of my experiences or a story or so. And this is for anybody. And you go on and you're like, well, and then and it's awkward, because when you're on, I guess, a live podcast or something, there's no preparation. And the people that do comment negative things, they understand that. It's not like, and, I respect anybody that calls in, because it's not as easy as it may seem to call in and,
That's
talk
true.
about at all. And not even for you guys, the people that's actually doing the podcast. It's not the easiest thing to do. It may sound easy, but it's really not easy to do. And so when you're going on and you don't have a pre-scripted thing, or just not pre-scripted, but a lot of times when people do interviews, for example, they can go in, and then you have somebody to ask questions. You have somebody that answers those specific questions. So there's back and forth conversation. Everything's pretty much laid out, and then it's, and then they can go back and edit that if they want to or elect to, and take out what they don't want, things of that nature. It's a lot harder when you have somebody that just open lines like you have, which is a nice thing to do. But it's a lot more difficult to call in and just for somebody to start talking and just, and then to touch base with comments, to answer questions, all the things. And you kind of lose, I guess, where the spot because if you have a lot of stuff going on, it's very hard to stay on that topic, because everything's connected that you experience. Like one thing leads to another, and you just kind of hop all over the place. And people were saying things like, well, if she says this one more time, I'm about to chop my arm off, and I can't focus on this. And I mean, there's a lot of hateful people out there, but they shouldn't be that way, because when you listen, Darkwater's he's a very good storyteller. He does a lot of, he's really good at what he does. And you listen to your stuff, and it's a very different type of story or experience telling when you have the sound effects, the pre-recordings, and both of them are great. Like, I love your shows and I love his shows, but they're very different. You know what I mean? And that when you listen to one thing and it hops to that, and then you listen to that, it just sounds very sloppy. And I know that it does. I know it does. I'm not saying that, they're wrong about it, but, there's a lot of people that say things that's kind of like, it discourages you. And I think that's why I've kind of hesitated some to come back on, because I'm like, I kind of wasn't expecting the whole Skinwalker Ranch, because I know that he put Skinwalker Ranch has nothing on this, and I'm like, oh Lord, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't my suggestion, or nothing like that. So I was like, I don't want all the like attention things. And a lot of people that have actual go through stuff don't want a lot of attention, but it's fine. It doesn't bother me. It's just that I think these people, that there was another person that said, well, if it's anything, something about Skinwalker Ranch, and it doesn't sound nothing compared to that. And I mean, and I don't know. And honestly, Skinwalker Ranch is a different case scenario. Skinwalker Ranch, like, I watched it. I actually like that show. I mean, I've watched it, but there is a lot of places on this earth that is just as high volume of activity, if not worse. And I'm not speaking for my property at all, but there's a lot of places that are just like that, if not, have more activity than that place. Just that place happens, the guy who bought the property has money. They can hire people to come in with, all this high-tech stuff to do, experiments on the property, which is really cool to watch. And that's why I watch it, because it's really neat. But how they bend light and all kinds of stuff, with there are certain things, anomalies that go on that actually bend lasers. Just to unexplained, but they have people come in that are scientists. I don't have all that equipment. You know what I mean? In fact, I probably wouldn't want anything going on like that here anyway if I did. But, because I have to live here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole different situation. And there's a lot of places, on Earth that are like that, if not even, more extreme cases. So for people, like, it's very, some of those say it's kind of rude, and I kind of wanted to clear the air about that. I probably did sound retarded when I was talking, but it is different. And I was going to go on there and comment, and I was like, no, maybe I shouldn't say anything. But it does discourage people from coming on and telling their experience when they get all that hate thrown at them like that, and the criticism. But I guess you have those critics, which I don't mind some stuff, but some people may not be able to handle it. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, I apologize that people were, negative, made negative comments about your experiences.
Yeah, it's not your fault, and it's not just me. They do it to a lot of people. It's not just me. It's just
there are trolls out there that love to be trolls, and that that's what they do. That's what they get their kicks off of.
But I'm thinking to myself, like, why are they listening? Like, if they don't like the way I say something, then just don't even listen. Just exit out of it. It's that simple. They just have to say something about it. But then again, it also makes you feel like, it can kind of, if people are already like, experiencing, a lot emotionally going on, and if they, are having a lot of stuff going on and they're reaching out, a lot of people go on to reach out for help. Like, that's what I did. When all this stuff started happening, I had nowhere to turn, because, like I said, you cannot call your local police department or your sheriff office and say, hey, guys, I've got something down here that's pushing in my door, or that's doing this, or knocking on my house. Well, what is it? Well, I think it's, a cryptid. They probably have me committed or something. I mean, that's just, they would think, you know what I mean? You don't know what to do. So you turn to a community that you feel like, you can connect with or whatever. And then, you're at that point in your life where you're trying to find, somebody that's to I guess, confide in or whatever, or talk to about things. And then you have people that are hateful like that. And then people kind of like, it turns them away. And I've seen it so many times. And that happens, and not just me, but there is people that may be needing help, you know, trying to cope with whatever that's going on or whatever they've experienced, and then, you know, they're looking for support, and then you've got people like that that's just, you know, very mean. And so you know, I'm just, I guess, not just speaking for myself, just for everybody, you know, some people need to stop doing that because it's not okay. And then that's why a lot of the people that really have true encounters, because I know that some things might sound very weird to people when, you know, I was listening to the guy who had the Native American story with the Native American stuff. I think it was, I don't know if it was your last podcast you have, that he had the spiritual thing with the Native American in his car that he was talking to or whatever, and that he let out the car, and then I think the guy disappeared and whatnot ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, at first you're kind of like, you know what I mean? But, you know, there's a lot of things that, you know, honestly, that he said at the very end of that was, you know, similar to some of the stuff that I've had go on. So, you know, you can't really judge like that in this type of, you know, community. You can't be judgmental because, you know, even though things might sound very weird to some people or very like out of the box strange, you can't just say, well, that person's, you know, crazy and all this other stuff, because, you know, they could in fact very well be having that going on or something happen to them, and if they're trying to look for support, you know, and then usually I've seen people that have experiences that the weirder their experiences are, the more authentic they are. It's just not the typical, okay, the wood knocking, you know, the typical wood knock or the yell, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you hear, like some of the people say, well, I heard a knock and a yell. I mean, you know, sometimes the different they are, the more authentic they are. And then people are reaching out, you know, for answers or, you know, guidance or whatever. And they, you know, get backlash at, and then they, you know, probably more than likely won't share anything else. And then when that happens, that's why nothing ever gets resolved, or a lot of things happen because of the stuff that goes on like that, you know. And I'm not talking about you guys' channel, I'm just talking about in general. It pushes people away. So
Oh yeah, ridicule will do that with just about everybody. You just have to pay attention to who's doing it, and are they just set up a troll account, one of hundreds. So if they get blocked, they'll just come back with the next one with another name. You know?
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
So,
I know. That's sad too when they do that. It's crazy. But yeah, that's all that since the last time I talked to you that's happened here that I can think of at the moment. We've not had nothing too crazy go on. So
you mentioned something about rocks being thrown. Have they, you know, do they break things on your property to get your attention or anything of that nature?
In the past, we had so much stuff. I mean, they had they had torn our garage all to pieces. The neighbor's garage. It started with that. That was the first thing that happened. What'd you say, Kurt? Yeah, after we got growled at is when I kind of stopped, you know, going out so frequent outside. And then I had a lady one night, she was kind of hateful about it, but she said, if I stop giving them attention, they'll go away. And mind you, like, I was never like one of those people who was trying to give something attention. I was just trying to, you know, have some closure or know or figure out what was going on. I guess research, debunk, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, but when we were growled at, that right there, like, sealed the deal for me a lot. I can never be outside anymore. I used to sit outside for, you know, just for my own peace and quiet time. I like nature. I liked my hanging baskets on the front porch. We have a really nice front porch in our house. It's a brick foundation and a sidewalk. And I used to plant flowers. You know, I had herbs planted. I had, you know, flowers planted, flower beds, and hanging baskets like that, things of that nature. I used to sit out there at nighttime and, you know, light up my little tiki torch, and I would take my wire wrapping jewelry out there, and I would I like wire wrapping crystals and things like that, just, you know, just for relaxation time, and then play some music or something on there just for relaxation. Because we don't really party. We don't go anywhere. We don't drink, nothing like that. We don't do anything but sit. I drink coffee and I smoke cigarettes. And that's all I do. We have kids. My dad's got Alzheimer's now, but we have no social life besides that. So, you know, that was my time, I guess, of relaxation. And then when all that stuff started happening and then we got growled at, I could never do that again, because even when I have tried to sit outside just to get some fresh air at night or get some, you know, peace and quiet, you can't. I'm just never. It's not a peaceful moment, because you're always. It's like you have this constant fear that something's going to happen. Like, I mean, it's just it's just like a paranoia that sets in, and you can't relax anymore. So, you know, Kurt and I, we just stopped going outside as much. And, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's happened since we haven't been outside. But as far as them, you know, there's my son's heard a lot of stuff going on after that. We've had things go on. We've had stuff hit our house. Like, we have stuff hit our house occasionally up here at the front of the house, you know, thuds, things like that. But, you know, we don't really visually see anything when we go outside. We do have cameras up now. We didn't used to. We put cameras up on all of they're night owl cameras, the wireless, and they weren't, but we put those on the four corners of we have them on the right side of our house, our garage area. So we have them on front and back there. We have one on our front porch facing the front door, and we have one on the back facing the backyard, so we could see our dogs, because our dogs have been in hook before. Which is, there's so much. I haven't touched the service, like I told you last time. I'd have to do segments to touch the service on everything. But we have doorbell rings too. But we've had a lot of stuff we've seen on those, and there's been some things we've saved. We've seen a lot of orbs. Our face detection, we had to turn our face recognition, our face detection off of the air, because it would go off constantly. I mean, it was like a nonstop, like every 5 minutes, face detection at back door cam, face detection at garage cam, face detection, just constantly going off notifications on our cell phones. And there would be nothing there, but it looked like a swirling mist. Like if you took if you were like riding in mist, like a heavy mist, it looked like a bunch of swirling mist in the air. There was no face that we seen. But also, I don't know where all the mist come from either. You know, very, very weird. We've seen that, and that happened. So we just turned that notification off because it drove us crazy. It was just all the time. And then we've had these big straight beams of light that would cast from the backside of our house to the wood line across the street. These really, really bright, luminous straight beams of light. There was probably about 6 or 7 beams. And after that happened, Kurt went outside with a flashlight, one of our high-powered ones, and tried to recreate it just to see if it could possibly be something. And there was no way. So we're not for sure what that was. And they're high-def cameras, too. They're high definition. But we've seen a lot of orbs, and the way they come across the camera view, they're not just floating around in like a specified area. Like they will travel in a straight line. So it's not what you would think would be a bug or a bee, something like that, or a spider or a web. Because sometimes a spider web and spiders, if they get attached on there, they can look like a ball. or the egg sac or something, like a ball floating around. But because I do have night vision on. But anyway, these orbs is what they are. But whatever, they're going like in a straight line, and they travel you can watch them travel from the woods all the way to our house, and then travel back. And they're probably about the size of a large grapefruit to the size of a basketball. We've seen some of them, and they're very like solid looking, so very dense, and they travel a pretty bit. Like I said, they travel that whole entire distance, and it's about, how far would you say it is from our garage to the woods across the street where those things have come from? It's pretty good. 50 yards. So, I mean, it's a pretty good way. So I don't think a bug would be able to go that far and in camera view and go back like that. And so we've seen a lot of stuff like that across our cameras. But we've not really. I've not walked in the woods. I used to walk to the creek a lot. I used to do a lot of stuff outside. And after we have gone through all this stuff and got growled at, that I'm done. Like, that's, until I know what's going on and I can kill something if I have to. Like, I don't want to hurt anything if I don't have to, but I don't know what I'm up against. So I can't say, oh, well, if I bring a gun with me, then I'll be able to kill what's in front of me. No thanks. I'd rather not. You know what I mean? I know that's sad, but it's pretty much crippled my lifestyle. Like, it takes a piece away from me where you can't be normal anymore. So, or to feel that way. So, I mean, I don't want to get emotional or anything, but just.
Yeah, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
It's from Shell. Hi, Beth. Did you say you have tried having your property blessed or blessing it yourself around your borders of land, house, doors, windows, etc.? Just wondering. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had. I'm a Christian person. I've always been raised a very Christian person, and I know about how things can attach to people and evil things and things of that nature. I've prayed a lot. I grew sage of my own, and I've actually smudged my house, which is like on a different spiritual level. I've blessed my house. I've prayed. We've done a lot of stuff that I don't think there's anything I would say demonic. I don't really think there's anything demonic here that's haunting us in specific, because it's not only us. Like I said, when our neighbors, well, they're still here, but the husband and wife actually got divorced. They were having things happen at their property, and to them before, it was some things were happening to us, but they had some stuff happening at their property that, my neighbor had come down and talked to me about. And right after that happened is whenever our garage got ransacked and things like that. So they've had a lot of stuff going on too as well. The other neighbors don't really even want to talk. They won't even come out of their house. It's weird. So yeah, we did find that I have thought about things that may have happened, around that time, what could have happened to trigger what's going on. And I do know that the elderly man that passed away, it was right around, we were walking, there's only, if it's something I think that's happened because of something I may have done or we may have done, it will be one of these things. We were walking to this creek every day on a daily basis, just about. It was just like one of our things that we would do when we got free time. We would hitchhike when we would, I grew up here since I was a small child. And when I was a small child, I used to walk down there with my neighbor Kimberly and one other friend of mine when we were little kids, like 10, 11 years old, 12 years old, or probably like 12, 10, 11, 12. And it's not way too far away the way it winds around, the bottom of the hillside and, the area. But there's a huge power line that runs like right near there as well, that, a major power line. But we used to go down there when we were kids. Her house where it sat at, it was not far from her house. And I remember when I was younger, I was chased by what I thought were wild dogs out of those woods when I was younger growing up, and I didn't think nothing much about it. I have seen some stuff as far as the paranormal realm. I've had a lot of stuff go on here when I was a child growing up here at this house. Just seeing some weird things, weird experiences. I've had friends of mine when they were coming to pick me up when we were teenagers going out to cruise, hear things coming from our woods, voices, and there's just been a whole lot going on as far as like paranormal things, or what I thought would be paranormal back then. But when I have not been down at that creek in years, and whenever me and my husband met back in 2018, 2015 actually, when we had met then, I started like the following year, I started, going back down there with him because I thought it would be like a perfect way for us to get some, he was a nature person. He enjoyed nature. I enjoyed nature. And we were like, we're going to go down there and look for crystals or look for arrowheads, things of that, because that was just something we enjoyed to do. And, because a lot of the Native Americans lived along this land, so there's a lot of Indian burial grounds, things like that. And my great grandmother was Native American, so we would go down there and we found quite a few arrowheads. We found pieces of pottery that's Native American pottery, but we had that particular year, before everything started going nuts, we had seen these two guys walking. Or was that after the footprint or before the footprint, Kurt? The guys walking in that creek, that was just weird looking. After? Okay. So the first thing that happened was there was this huge, gigantic footprint. I think I had touched base on that briefly whenever it was just an awkward shaped, huge foot. It wasn't like a human-shaped foot either. It was a very weird-shaped foot. And there was like a small, it looked like maybe like a Cody or a paw print next to it. But there was two of those. I only seen two, and I took pictures of them, and I have those pictures. But they're very weird-looking. But you can actually see where this thing was so heavy that when it landed near the creek, because it's right there at the edge of the water, that the weight of this thing, when it landed, the sand had just, I guess, was thrown out from around each pallet or whatever it is. It looks like a pallet kind of some type. But that happened, and then after that happened, we went down there a few more times, and then during this time frame, my neighbor, the elderly guy, he's been living here since I was young. I moved out. I grew up here, like I said. My mother got sick and moved back in to take care of her. He passed away. When he passed away, it was about the same time frame he passed away, and we seen that footprint. Everything just started going nuts. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, what's going on? So I realized that the woods that separated his house and our house, where this activity was initially coming from, the yells, the stomping of the woods, which was right beside of our house. Like I said, it separated our house from his. He had trail cameras set up that were facing the woods or facing our house, which will be away from his house, but they were kind of in the wood area, which was very awkward. And he was an elderly man, and there was two gigantic food bowls out behind this shed that he had in his backyard. And then he kept all the wooded area, I would say, from his driveway about 30 or 40 foot into the woods, like clear. He burned leaves every single day. And there was a main trail or opening that went from his backyard across to the other side of the road into the woods that led to that creek. So I started thinking to myself, was he feeding something? What did he know what was going on? Was this man feeding something? Because these food bowls were huge. He had one dog named Tinkerbell that stayed in his house, and I knew this guy very well. Like I said, he was a childhood neighbor, but he was not feeding. That dog never come outside. It was a miniature poodle, and these bowls were enormous. I couldn't figure out why those bowls were out there, so I'm not sure if he was feeding something, like I said, if whatever this was that followed us from that creek, that could have been one of the things. And then during the same time frame after, we start walking to the creek because of that footprint and a few other select things that I'll talk about later on happened down there at the creek. That was very strange, very weird. But after that happened, we just started digging in our backyard one day. There was a small hole there, and we found a cathedral quartz, a very clear cathedral quartz. And all that time we had been looking in the creek water, we hit a huge quartz vein, and it was a quartz vein that we pulled quartz crystals out of that were just enormous. These are candle quartz. So some of them were like 5 inches or 6 inches in height and pretty big in diameter. But we hit a huge quartz vein. So then I'm like, well, maybe I hope that didn't bring something out. But then I had noticed there's a lot of quartz. This area where we live at, as far as the geological, I guess, layout and all that, it would be prime.
There's one question from Bathsheba. She wants to know if you know anything about ley lines running through your property.
Yeah, I've looked at the ley lines. Like I said before, like the Bigfoot bioelectrostatic theory is like the very closest theory to something I could touch base on a while back. The magnetic ley lines. There's a lot that run through our area. We also have those power lines, water source, which is another thing. If that's, there's different theories of these subjects or whatever that people, tend to lean toward. But in case that theory, there's a lot of quartz. I do believe that with the abundance in quartz that we have, that, quartz crystals are very, very strong. They're actually made in space by humans, and they're put in watches and computers that a tiny fragment of a quartz that's made in outer space can fuse the human spine, repair it if it's severed, almost fuse it back together where somebody could be totally paraplegic and be able to walk again. So they're very strong, and but I think that may have something in relation or to do with it is quartz. If people want to, I need to give you that link, but it's the Bigfoot bioelectrostatic theory. It's very interesting to read on.
Okay.
It's really, really cool, but it explains these scientists and how the magnetic ley lines, are connected to what they, consider these Bigfoot and the magnetic ley lines, and that they consume quartz. And these scientists had traveled, all over the globe and done these experiments, and they believe that they travel through karst systems, which are caves underground, and the way they conduct their energy is rubbing their feet together, which conducts the energy, and that's how they emit light and do other things that they do. So that story is very interesting because of the lights we've seen around here, or that theory, sorry. But I need to, I guess I can see if I can grab that link and post it on the live stream after it's
Sure.
Let me see if I can do it now while I'm on here, but as I'm on the house phone right now, let me see if I can get off here and do it. But yeah, it's really cool to but there's so, like I said, I hadn't even scratched the surface. I mean, there's just been so much going on. A lot of it's just, based upon my experiences. I'm not claiming to know everything at all whatsoever. There's a lot left. You're never too old to learn anything, and I'm not like fully knowledgeable of what's going on, or any that people have the flesh and blood theory or the spiritual theory. Who knows, really, honestly? Who knows what's going on? But let me see if I can grab this link real quick and.
All right. Beth, would you like to, schedule a full show with me? It doesn't have to be over on.
I know I need to contact you too.
Okay.
And I know I've not been trying to avoid you. It's my
Right.
dad. He's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and in the beginning of August, and I'm telling you, it's taking a toll on me with him right now.
All right. Well, I lost my stepdad a few weeks ago, and life has a funny way of rearranging your schedule, whether you like it or not.
Oh, that's for sure.
So I don't, it doesn't bother me that you've had something going on at all. I hope and pray that your father, the best that can happen, happens.
Oh, I know. It's just very hard for people. It's a lot to have to go through. It's a mental toll on you, with it's like having a child, but let's see. I'm trying to read what I'm doing here. I can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
My late grandmother had Alzheimer's, and that was hard to watch. That was hard.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And then it's as far as like having to let me see what I'm trying to do here. Hang on one second. It's very difficult to try to figure everything out, and then come to realization that they're not who they were. They're different. They're no longer that person anymore, mental status wise, and he's being like kind of combative. So it's harder for me because he's resisting like the help and stuff that he needs. As far as like bathing and just things like that, and it's just he's getting up at 10 o'clock at night, and but she's 81. He'll be 82 in March. So he's lived a fruitful, long life. Let's see. Hey, Kurt, can you come type this for me? Try to grab this link real quick.
What would one of my things my grandmother did when she was alive, and this is right after I lost my left leg, so I spent a lot of my rehab time with her, and she would see things in the house and say, "Hey, Shawn, what's standing? Who's in the kitchen?" And there's nobody in the kitchen. You kind of wonder, okay, she's seeing something. But she was always tuned to the other side, I think. And being having the Alzheimer's and the dementia and stuff probably left her wide open.
Yeah, and see, Dad got to where he can't work his TV or anything.
Oh, yeah.
See at this website. But he couldn't figure out how to get his clothes on. It's hard. So
yeah, there's like something that's a part of him pops in every once in a while that, hey, I recognize, that's like the old you, and then the confused version pops in, and it's sad to watch.
See, that's how. Hang on one second. Let me see. I think I found it right here finally. But that's how it used to be with him, and it's very hard to get a clinical diagnosis whenever they're like kind of not really level of severity like that. It's very hard to get a clinical diagnosis, but usually when they get to, that level of like moderate to, to severe, or more than severe, and they can get a clinical diagnosis because everything just starts, it's so noticeable. I mean, you'll notice like, bits and pieces when it first starts. You'll say something ain't quite right, and it could take a course of years like that. And then all of a sudden they get to that level of severity and platforms. And he had mild strokes before this happened. And I thought that's what had happened because my aunt passed away the beginning of August. I thought maybe that's, he had another stroke. And that's not what happened because he literally has forgotten how to put his clothes on right. There's just a whole bunch of things. Using the bathroom on himself a lot. And he does not recognizing it. Just in refusal to wear, Depends underwear. And I shouldn't be talking about all this on here, but it's just, it gets very difficult. I mean, very difficult. And, it's just one of those things where I'm just trying to deal with that. And I'm like, it's going to come to a point in time where I don't want him to be in a nursing home, but I'm going to have to do something, because, for the greater good of his health care, his welfare. Let's see. Let me see. I'm talking to myself here. Bioelectric. Static.
Well.
Finally.
Oh,
right
you found
here
it?
it is. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, finally. I'm gonna copy this right here. Copy. Okay.
Copy and paste.
Let me see if I can get this done.
Interesting.
Okay.
I
now,
will place you on the prayer chain, you and your father.
Yeah, that's fine if you want to. That's totally fine with me.
Okay. I'll
And
put you on
then, okie dokie. All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and I'll keep in touch. I promise.
All right. Well, if life takes over and renegotiates what you're planning to do, that's fine with me. I totally understand that.
And if people want to, like, they're more like, I changed my page name and things like that so I could comment on there. And if people want to, ask me a question or like just, chat or anything, they're more than welcome to. I mean, I'll, try to do what I can on the. I know that I think that maybe I think the comments, do they disappear whenever you go off alive?
No, they should come back up. I hope they will. If not, I will try my best to figure out how to set that as default. But
yeah, because I think that the one podcast you had prior to this one, or that the last time when I shared the recording and stuff, when I went back to go try to answer some questions, if there was any, I don't know if there was or not, but I think there was a few questions. Because I don't want to ignore somebody or somebody think that I'm ignoring them. But, they literally, like, I couldn't see any comments. But I think the ones that were actually appearing were, like, the day after, which people had listened to it and were kind of late getting to that,
Yeah.
So all the ones that were during the actual live stream were gone. And I was like, shoot, that sucks because I couldn't see anything. So, anyway, yeah. But, just whichever, but yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. Well, just whenever you find a chance to call or whenever it's convenient, you can certainly call me. Okay.
Okie dokie. I will do.
All right. Well, God bless you and Kurt and your dad and your dogs and cats or whatever you got hanging around there.
The fam.
The fam.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will talk to you guys.
All right. God bless.
All right. You too, hon.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Wow. That was unexpected. Thank you, Beth and Kurt. Lord have mercy. Now, I turned out to say, hey, I had about an hour's worth of material to do whatever without having a call, but Holy heck. Whoa, what are we at? 3 hours, 14 minutes. Can you believe it? And that is exactly the way I like to run my show. Plan for a solid whatever, and then let y'all add to the show. And you can't beat what just went on. Thanks to Mike, old Religion Dystopia, for being a part of the show earlier. And then Beth calling in with Kurt, her husband, and the whole gambit. Has anybody heard about the missing folks that was mentioned earlier in the show? Anybody? But if not, we'll say a quick prayer and get this show ended the way I end and start my shows, with prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, in thy love and mercy, establish a perimeter of protection around all of us and our loved ones, those that pray for us and their loved ones. May the holy angels guard us from any and all evil and demonic entities. Please protect our possessions, establishing perimeter protection around all of us, rendering us immune from any kind of demonic influence. I ask that no demonic bondage, door, demonic entity, portal, astral projection, or disembodied spirit may enter the space of 100 yards of all directions of us. I ask that any demons within the vicinity or any that should try to enter here be rendered deaf, dumb, and blind, that thou would strip them of all weapons, armor, power, illusions, authority, and thou would bind, rebuke, and disable them from communicating and interacting with each other in any way. Move them, sending them directly to the foot of thy cross, Jesus, Son of the Most High. Father, please send your angels of mercy, support, and healing to Frank and Warren J., Shell and Aiden, Amanda and Robert Quigley, Laura and her dad, Gracie, Julian Jeff, Sharon Guy, Patrick, Brenda, Julie S., Aaron and Erica, Lakea, AJK, Claire Ellis, Dahl, Gil and Jayla and Breland, plus their mama Janice, Stimulate, Jack and his children, Juanita Hicks, Lee, Amy, Beth and Kurt, and their father. And anyone that has unspoken prayers or needs, Father, send your angels of mercy and healing to them. Bless them as you see fit. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Holy cow. Great show. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to reach out to me, I got the email, which is in the description, or my phone number, 931-994-6917. Or Shawn Graham at iamdarkwaters.com, or chasingthetruth2018 at gmail.com. Holy cow. Yeah, appreciate each and every one of you that has been in chat. Sugar Britches, Amy, Catalyst, a.k.a. Sue from Down Under, Old Religion Dystopia, Mike, Beth and Kurt, Bansheba, Bonita, Sheldon. Let's see. We got Joanne in there. Lisa Ray, as always. Crystal. Let's see. Who else have I overlooked? Let's see. Shell's in here. Saw her earlier. Anybody else that I have not said hello? Monkey Vines and Spirits. Interesting. Cool. Oh, that's Beth. Let me post that one more time and grab that link. Interesting. So, folks, appreciate every one of you. God bless you. And good night. I'll probably see you Saturday, or maybe another show between now and then. I have no clue. Fantastic chat going on. Hopefully YouTube will keep that chat and y'all can go back and reread everything. I will go back and check every time how I do my shows over here on my platform, I go through StreamYard. It's just easier to connect and stuff. But over on Dark Waters, all that stuff, you can click and get all that stuff to where it comes back. I don't know. The real-time chat stuff. But God bless y'all. Keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard. And, keep God first. That's how we get through all this. God bless y'all, and I'm out of here.